gentlemen, it's Cthulhu.
It's...
Last time on Cthulhu, our valiant vaginas traveled west on a steamship, east on a steamship in pursuit of the Pilgrimage of Grace, led by Malcolm Quarry, Roberto Anzalone, something Del Negro. I don't remember his first name. He's a black shirt though. And Carlo Schiappone. On their way to this location called Drakmar, to try to call the king and yell back to Earth.
Come back to us.
They shacked up with a cool dude named Siva, a Indian translator and guide who has been enormously helpful. And headed for Nepal, gaining along with that a bunch of porters and Nepalese guides to take them through the actual country itself, led by a stout fellow named Jigme. And then managed to get over the border with one small complication that Anka rectified with a bit of judicious yellow signing.
Yeah.
We appear to have lost Arble.
It happens, the best of us, really. He'll be back.
There he is.
I told you.
Well, good timing.
I meant to click deafen, but I clicked disconnect, and that's the same thing, honestly.
Yeah, you're right. That's pretty much what happened last time. You guys have just managed to get over the border. And, yeah. So, let me, open up my shit. Scroll down a little bit. You start to make your way a little bit away from the checkpoints, and through the subsequent checkpoint at the Nepal gates, which goes completely without issue. They are barely paying attention. They seem to figure if you got past those ones, you're fine. You imagine it probably works the opposite way as well. Although, to be honest, if you weren't supposed to be there and you were leaving, they would probably just hasten your journey. Jigme and the porters lead you maybe about a half mile in before they all abruptly just sort of veer to the side of the road and just start setting up camping supplies without a word.
Alright, well, time to do the same.
Let's see if it turns easy. I guess this is our stop. Well, as you guys are all getting down and they're setting up tents, and one of the Nepalese men is building a fire. He says, "So, they said that in order to get to where they're willing to go, which is Gorapani, it's going to be about 7 days of hiking."
Wow.
It shouldn't be too bad, he told me, until we get there. It's a little bit more level up until that point, but once we get to Gorapani, we're going to be about 8,000 feet above sea level, and things are going to get a little bit difficult from there on.
That's fine. I've got good legs.
We'll probably have to secure another guide once we get to Gorapani. Jigme says he knows someone there, so we should be able to get him to help us find someone to carry us the rest of the way. I'm not sure how many days it'll be after that, but based on where Gorapani is on this map, and he sort of points it out, and you can see there's a good chunk of space in between that and like the Mustang region. He's like, it's probably another 7 to 10 days after that.
Wow.
So we're looking at a little over 2 weeks, probably.
He's just walking and climbing.
Yes, well, that's what happens when you go marching into the mountains. Does everyone feel up for this? I'm not sure I do.
Well, of course. Right?
Feeling fine.
Yeah, you see?
Alright. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna go to sleep. He does.
Have the best of sleeps.
Don't we all? Sleep, that is.
Yes, and you should do the same.
Okay, fine. Go to sleep.
Fine.
I was gonna stay up all night watching, like, videos about how you can beat Lego Star Wars with the fewest amount of stones collected, but I guess I'll just go to sleep.
But
A huge rock falls out of space and lands on the Maestro's head, killing him instantly.
well,
A bunch of studs fly out of my body.
In my Honda Civic.
Nope. Nope. You go to sleep,
yes.
and
Is
in
this
the morning,
dream time?
Yes.
you wake up. Although
Why is the...
those strange visions persisted again.
Cool.
Of course they do.
So does
They've been
Nepal...
unrelenting since you guys boarded the steamship.
Is Nepal always a silent hill?
Huh?
Is this just how Nepal always sounds, this music?
There's the music I'm using.
Okay, man, this country's a downer. Alright, let's do it.
This module's a downer. January 3rd,
January the 3rd.
Thing
1931.
happened.
That is a time.
Yeah, remember that event that happened?
No. Of course I
What?
don't. What?
Nope.
Yeah, like what?
Nope.
Wait, are you actually waiting on me? I was being funny.
No, I want you to explain yourself right now.
No,
Yeah,
there
come
was
on.
no joke is that there was no joke there. There was no more to it. I
Oh
presented
my
Oh, was
the
that
side.
your funny joke?
The
Hey, everybody,
joke was
what do you
there
all
was
think of Nick's
no
joke, everybody?
joke.
I wasn't paying
Shit
attention,
sucks,
so...
yo.
Oh my god, you hear all the people cheering? Woo, we love you! Whoa!
That's terrifying.
It's
Where the
funny,
hell
all those
are they?
people sound a lot like Nick.
I mean, they're right behind me, it's weird.
Oh,
So-
no.
As you guys are getting up, Jigme and his porters are already moving on. Like, with all your shit. You could see them maybe, like, a good 300 yards up the road.
Oh shit.
And Siva's scrambling to his feet like, what the fuck is wrong with them? We still have to pay them.
Jesus. Oh, it's fine. Oh, come on. Let's go.
The journey through this part of Nepal is heavily wooded, with chestnuts, walnuts, maples, and all manner of dense forestry. And you pass a couple of small farms where people are growing potatoes and cabbages and turnips and tomatoes. You see little sheep herds being herded by shepherds. And you pass through a couple of low, sort of muddy villages scattered along the sides of the road. It's a pretty easy walk. It's not even really uphill yet. You're just pretty much just heading out on straight, flat forest terrain. And then you, towards the end of the day, find yourself coming up to the foot of the CTHULHU in a town called Butwal, which is a couple of maybe like 15 two-story thatched houses with this sort of a lot of the earth in this area is really densely packed with red clay, so that sort of like splashes up, sort of marking the undersides of the lower parts of the houses.
Mm-hmm.
Siva and Jigme argue with the innkeep for what feels like an hour, until eventually they tell you that they have been allowed to sleep in the courtyard of the inn, but they couldn't get inside.
Nice.
And that night passes. And the dreams persist.
There's a sort of comfort in those dreams. They keep coming.
There is something sort of comforting about it now. It's regular. It's the only thing that's always there. And they always feel kind of peaceful in the moment. But they're almost becoming sort of like a rock in the river. The second day of travel, the countryside sort of closes in, and you follow a gorge that begins to climb gradually. Every hour or so you pass a village with people at work in terraced rice fields. Towards the end of the day, you reach a village called Tansing, which is sort of like this brick building, brick town sprawled out on a steep ridge. Some of these buildings are really tall, like 3 or 4 stories high with tiled roofs. And there's a lot of trade in what looks like metal work in this area, along with a huge temple to Vishnu. They can't get into the inn here either.
This sucks, yo.
And that day passes. January 5th. Day 3. It's starting to get uncomfortable. The previous day, you traveled through a gorge that sort of slowly wound its way up into the hills. Now you're pretty much just constantly going up and down hills in this section of the country. Going uphill is bad. Going downhill is exactly as bad.
Nice.
Especially with the sort of rain-washed clay ground ending up fairly slick, and more than once you guys sort of stumble down the last couple dozen yards of a hill, getting covered in this red clay. The porters seem fine, even though they're carrying way more gear than you. They're very sure-footed. It is their country, after all. A little ways through the journey, Siva, who's been making occasional conversation with Jigme, starts to get into a heated argument with him.
Oh.
This is probably getting into the late afternoon. And you see Jigme is pointing towards his porters, and like he's shouting something. You're not sure what it is, but you can see the porters starting to take off your gear.
Oh no.
And Siva is like pleading with them and like trying to like run in front and like waving his hands and like shouting. And he's like looking back at you and looking back at them.
I walk up and I ask, hey, what's going on?
What's happening?
I think I might have fucked up, guys.
How?
I hadn't told them exactly where our final destination was. I mentioned that it was Drakmar, and they got very, very upset.
It's a good thing we have money.
What's wrong with Drakmar?
I don't know, they just keep going on about ghosts.
Ghosts? Can he not go into any more detail?
They are... honestly, the Nepalese I know is failing me here. They're talking very quickly, and they're using a lot of slang.
Alright, if he doesn't want to take us exactly to where we go, can we at least, like, get us somewhere near?
I'm trying to he wasn't going to take us all the way anyways. I'm trying to persuade him.
Oh, jeez. I mean, like we said, we do got cash.
You can see he's shouting and he's pointing towards Ankur.
Time for your 4 p.m.
Felix, help me out here, bud.
Felix is hiding behind 4 entire hats.
He's holding up both. Siva's holding up both hands and making.
Dome can't save you from this, Felix.
He's holding up
He
both
has
hands.
no
He's
power
making the
at
fucking.
all.
He's making the money symbol with both hands.
Yes.
You see, he points to Ankur again, and then he starts to do like the knocking ones out of your hands sort of thing.
Yeah.
I'll go pay them. Felix, your help too.
Money talk.
I am dragging you over there too.
Hey man, we all got cash here,
I only got $20.
Don't look at me,
Make a
poor boy.
if any of you are helping, if you want to make a credit roll rating, a credit rating.
Oh, not me though. Hell no.
Sure, I'll make a fucking credit rating check.
I got a 10.
I got a 44, and those are both successes.
Okay.
Mine is an extreme.
They seem a little pacified by this display of coin, and they take a little bit. And Siva is like calming them down, and you see them start to put the gear back on. And fucking Siva's wiping sweat from his brow. He's like, all right. And he turns back. He's like, okay, so they're agreeing to take us to Gorapani still, but he says he is not helping us find another guide. He says we are on our own if we want to, quote, kill ourselves.
Oh, that's
Sounds
nice.
good.
Okay.
Felix is cleaning his shotgun and wondering if they're going to shoot slime people or fish people.
That'd be
Why are you
fun.
I don't think you should expose your shotgun to this kind of weather.
That's fine.
I mean, they know we all have guns. We're in the
I
wilderness.
don't care about that. I'm talking about like it's just out in the open, in the cold.
What do you want? What do you want to do? Wrap it up in nice blankies?
Yeah, give it a little kiss.
What's wrong with you?
I'm ready to shoot a Yeti.
They could be coming any minute now. The rest of the day's journey is pretty uneventful, but you don't reach a village by the end. You're forced to camp out in the cold again.
Oh. Yes.
And they set up a campsite, but with the slowly increasing altitude and the exceptionally cold January, it's pretty fucking uncomfortable.
Good.
And that night passes.
I wish to warm my toe.
January the 6th. Day 4. The first part of the day is a repeat of the previous. The way is still sort of undulating up and down, but it's mostly climbing through this land very heavily forested with evergreen oaks. You're starting to get pretty tired from just like the constant movement of the last couple of days, and it's only been 4 days, but I don't think any of you are particularly accomplished hikers.
No. God, that's so much time we still have to do.
Not to mention you guys are having to ration your food. You're having a lot of, like, rice and water. So, running on not a ton of calories, and not a lot of energy from food.
I've only just started.
But it's not miserable yet, it's just you're noticing it.
We're not having a nice, big, cool, fuck, what did we have last time? Start with the C.
What?
We're not having our cool breakfast meals anymore.
No, no cool breakfast meals.
No.
I get the waffles.
No, bro.
The Meister has secured away a couple of waffles and has no way to cook them.
Oh,
I eat them
you gotta look
raw,
at these.
frozen up little circles of bread.
They're called Egos. They're amazing.
I'm just. I
Going
have
to be a
them
hell of a
between my
business
palms,
opportunity.
rubbing vigorously to get the frost off of them.
It's kind of working.
Nice.
I give up after a while and just eat them.
They're crunchy.
Like tater chips.
It's like eating.
Yes.
It's like eating ice chips.
Just how I like it.
Oh, yeah.
Delicious.
Delicious indeed.
Maestro, are you crying?
No, how could I cry? My tear ducts are frozen shut.
Mine too.
Around mid-afternoon, you reach a town called Pokhara, which is set on set on the coast of a pretty large lake. This is the biggest settlement you've seen in a while. It's even bigger than the village that you left on the other side of the border. This sort of sprawling wooden clay brick settlement with this massive street bazaar of open shops. And a significant amount of people moving about, going about their day, going to farms on the outskirts and shopping. A weird thing is, almost every single building, at least a vast majority, has these weird, like, carved wooden effigies of men and women attached to them, and they're all life-sized. Sort of like, it just looks strange.
Kind of neat.
Once again, you are denied entry into the inn, however. And, Siva is, like, arguing with Jigme about this. And, Jigme counters back, and Siva comes to you, he says they're not letting us in the inn because they don't have room for all our shit, he says.
Of course.
Okay.
And he says they don't have the accommodations to leave it out in the street because it will be stolen.
Well, that's mighty kind of
I
them.
suppose is fair.
It's so cold.
If anybody wants to come, we can probably replenish some of the food supplies here.
Yes, that's a good idea.
There's markets.
Excited.
I've got money to spend.
Heading through the market, there's food to buy. It's mostly vegetables and rice. That's the bulk of what's going on here. You don't really see much meat. And the meat that you do see is snapped up pretty quickly by other buyers. While you're there, who wanted to go shopping? Is it everybody?
Shopping for
Anker
specific
does
things or
not.
just for food?
Anker does not. Well, it's just like, you know, I mean, if you want to buy anything else here, this is probably the last time you're going to be able to buy anything you might want, but,
We have dynamite, right?
you do have, you imagine these guys probably don't have dynamite.
I was just making sure. Do we have multiple ways to light it? Like, how many pairs of matches or lighters do we all have?
I'm not so sure about the...
Felix is a smoker, he's probably got, like, matches or some shit.
Oh, yeah, I got a lighter.
Yeah.
Would they have a, like, would
Sorry,
they
I'm
have
zoning
matches or
out.
something?
Yeah, they got matches. You could buy those.
Okay, I want to buy some matches.
Alright, that's easy enough. That's basically nothing in terms of
Oh, yeah.
cost.
I buy a bag of mixed nuts.
They're tasty.
Nice.
While people are shopping, anybody who's in the bazaar, make a spot hidden.
Oh, it's me. I'm in there.
You're in there?
I'm in there.
Oh,
It's
he's
me.
in there.
The spot hidden is
I've got the heart.
Oh shit. Normal.
Boys, they're demons.
What'd you say?
And them boys, they're demons.
Those of you who succeeded. See, there's one Nepalese fellow, this sort of like older, sort of a little bit of patchy facial hair. It doesn't seem like these people grow very dense facial hair, but he's got a little bit. Sort of ratty hair. Is watching you guys very closely, and he keeps going about his business, but he keeps looking back over at you, like with a sort of nervous look in his eye, and then going back to what he's doing. Nobody else is... I mean, people are looking at you because you're white and you're out of place, but this guy... He's almost sort of been keeping his distance, but moving along with you as you go about your shopping.
I don't think... Do we want to approach? Maybe we'll just keep an eye on him for now.
Okay. You finish up getting what you needed to buy. You replenish a bunch of the food stores. You imagine you'll probably be good for a while on this. Especially with some rationing. You don't buy too much because these fucking guys have to carry it. But enough. As you guys are leaving the bazaar area, that guy follows you for a little bit and then breaks off and starts walking back into the streets closer towards the center of town. Oh, what was that?
What's the problem, sir?
A big loud noise.
Fine.
Okay. You make it back to the courtyard, where Jigman and his men have set up shop. And, if there's nothing else you want to do for today.
You
I
know.
mean, I got my mixed nuts, I got my matches.
I got my hash pipe.
Don't you just.
Don't you just. Don't adjust.
Right.
We good.
Stay the same. I go to bed.
Alright, you guys go to bed?
Mm-hmm.
Oakley dokley. Everybody goes to sleep. There's a sort of tension in the night, as though that man is going to... You're going to wake up to see that man standing over you with an axe or something.
Hell yeah.
But you wake up in the morning and everything seems okay. You don't see the guy again. Not sure what that was about. Jigman and the boys head out. The climb now really starts beginning in earnest. Passing through some very dense vegetation now, almost jungle-like. Still very cold, but it's a lot of extravagant and huge flora. The only signs of human presence you really see are a couple scattered cottages beside more rice terraces. Darkness falls as you reach another town called Nodara. 20 cottages sort of arranged along a single cobblestone street. More of those weird life-sized effigies are strapped to the buildings. And there are a bunch of, like, bowls set at the base of them that look like they're filled with milk.
Ew.
This place does not have an inn at all. So you just kind of have to camp at the edge of town.
I'm seeing a pattern here.
Not a lot of visitors come up this way. The dreams are getting more vivid now. When you have them, they feel sharper, more colorful, more real. Even before, there was a sort of ethereal disconnect. That sort of presence of mind where you kinda know you're in a dream. That's not happening anymore. You're waking up in the morning almost disoriented as to where you are, certain that what you experienced in the night was real. And it takes you a moment to reconfigure your mind and decompress. It's starting to become hard to focus on what is the real world, at least right early in the morning.
I haven't had my coffee yet.
Coffee.
Don't ask me about reality.
Don't fill my mind with mysterious visions before I've had my coffee.
Listen, don't come asking me questions about consensus reality before I get my coffee. Aaron. Do we have coffee? I want coffee.
You guys could have purchased some coffee beans and, like, made some homemade coffee.
Fantastic.
Yeah. If only we were home, though.
Made some camp-made coffee.
Hell yeah.
It is.
Just like
it is.
the pioneers.
It is very nice to be able to
Don't
have.
show me the crawling eye until I've had my coffee.
Yeah. It's very nice to have a little bit of a pick-me-up because it's getting tiresome.
I feel human again.
I feel humid again.
Wait, no, there it goes.
Oh.
Easy come, easy go, as they say.
On the next day, Jigme is talking to Siva a little bit, and Siva relays to you that, well, we're hitting the 5,000 foot mark, so it's going to start to be probably a little bit harder to, well, you know, from here on out. So, I suppose, you're all still, I mean, we've made it this far. It's been nearly a week.
You know? A lot better than I thought we were gonna do.
It's fine. I holiday in Denver.
He also said there were going to be... Hold on. He walks back over to Jigme, and they sort of talk back and forth. He looks back. Chasms!
Ooh,
Oh no, I don't want to jump him.
Yes!
Jump. The cause. I roll strength or whatever the hell.
Strength or whatever the hell. Throughout the early morning, you traverse a misty jungle of pine trees, small valleys, and low, rounded hills. Maybe about noon, you can see there's a spot where this large hill just sort of breaks off, as though there's been like a rock slide or something. Probably a very long time ago. And on the other side, the path continues, and there is a very, very narrow, swinging rope bridge just connecting them. Jigme and the porters cross first. It takes them almost an hour. They move very, very slowly.
Oh boy.
Every single... and they go one at a time. Every single step, you can hear the creaking of the wood. You can see the swaying of the bridge in the high winds. Siva looks like a deer in the fucking headlights.
It's fun.
Chasm.
Come on.
I hardly know
Jump the
him.
chasm.
Haven't you want?
Siva steps to the side and does like a little bow and gestures forward. He says, "Age before beauty."
Oh. I don't know. I kind of like looking beauty.
I jump the chasm.
It's way too far for that. It's like a cup. It's like over 100 feet.
Well,
Sure.
let him try.
But he has
I-
the winged boots.
I mean, you
I
can
have
certainly
the
try.
winged boots of Hermes. Let
You
me
c-
jump the chasm.
You can
I've
certainly
equipped
try.
Do it. Try
I
it.
equipped the winged boots.
Make
of
a jump
Hermes.
roll.
I'll make a jump roll with
Okay.
the winged boots of Hermes.
It's a good
Oh my
thing.
God.
It's a good thing he has those.
Wow! Good thing the winged boots of Hermes gives me advantage.
They
Wow!
They let me
I rolled
fly.
a 93 on my jump roll.
Ankur
Yes.
rushes to the edge of the cliff, leaps, and disappears into the mists below.
Don't worry,
There he
just
goes.
give him a few minutes. He'll loop around.
Don't come back from the top.
He
Nah,
pops
it's-
back
it-
next to you, and the Bastion guy says, "Just kidding."
This was all part
Love
of the
that
hunter
guy.
test. I'm on the ropes.
If you want to cross the rope bridge, I need a dex roll.
Oh
Oh.
boy.
Oh shit.
Dex. I'm
I
so
know
dexterous,
Dex.
you wouldn't
I'm
believe
good,
it.
Dex.
I'm Dex.
Wait, I wasn't being sarcastic, it turns out. Who knew? Alright.
I'll roll for that fucking blind guy who's not here with us.
I got a 10.
Oh my god, I somehow managed to succeed with a 90% chance
Can
of success.
can I push this? I'm gonna push this.
That's
If you
gonna be
push
hard.
it, you might slip.
I need to
I'm
push
gonna
it.
push it.
I got a big large.
I got
Big
a
large?
10.
Is that a... Okay, yeah, there we
I
go.
got an extreme.
Okay. I got a hard on my push.
Okay.
I got a norm on my.
I pushed a 89 into a 29.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
You guys take your time. You don't move quite as slow as Jigme and his men. You're not carrying as much gear. It's not quite as Death Stranding. But you slowly make your way across this bridge, step by step, inch by inch, foot by foot. Ankur, while you're walking across, your foot slips a little bit on sort of the ice collected on the bridge, and you manage to steady yourself just in time, and the whole bridge just sort of sways for a second, and you hold in that position for like a full 2 minutes before you start moving again. But everybody makes it to the other side,
Nice.
including Siva, who looks like he's having a panic attack.
Oh, you're having a good time, really. It's that little bit of adrenaline rush you got there.
I've never gone this far into Nepal. First time for everything.
I'm happy we get to share this experience together.
Yes, wonderful, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Mm.
What does he mean by this?
Oh, he's upset.
Hear the Germans make a pill for that.
A couple hours later, you come to another one.
Oh my god.
This one looks even more precarious. You can see towards the middle, there are a couple of boards that have just fucking completely fallen out.
Huh.
Yay!
And looking down below, just getting that brief rush of vertigo, you can see the bottom, but it's a couple 100 feet down, and it's this jagged, rocky shoreline with a rushing river. Jigme and the boys make it across very slowly. Siva follows, making his way across, because he doesn't want to have to watch you guys go across again. That scared him more. And now I need everybody to make dex rolls again.
Hooray!
I'm good at this.
The things they ask of me. I'm gonna push this. I managed to fail somehow.
I've got a heart.
Jesus fucking Christ!
I got a normal.
dick. Got a hard.
Hell yeah.
Everybody else pass?
Sounds like.
Okay.
It's fine. No. Yeah.
You guys slowly make your way across this bridge. It sort of sways and creaks again in the wind. This one is very mobile. Every single step seems to make the entire thing wiggle. And towards the middle, at those broken planks, most of you guys carefully step your way across it, but the maestro, full of vigor, goes for just like a quick little short hop over the broken planks, and his foot misses entirely the next board.
Oh no!
Foot No, I know you passed.
Okay.
Foot just sort of goes through for a second, like, oh, and you grab onto the rope and like just sort of kneel on the rope bridge, and it just sort of sways dramatically back and forth for a second before it slowly comes to a stop. It's like, oh. Okay, I got it.
Don't you just love that crisp, clean, empty air?
I wouldn't recommend doing that.
Haven't you ever felt more alone than being 40 miles away from the next human being?
There's a couple of human beings around you.
I'm with my boy.
You got some friends.
Hell yeah.
Does he?
But you guys make it across this chasm in one piece.
Oh, hello.
We're there.
Help.
You made it.
Yeah.
Wasn't that hard?
By nightfall, you reach another small town called Hille? And here, at the crest of the hill where this village is, you get your first glimpse of the Annapurna mountain range, part of your destination. It fills the entire horizon, this huge white mass of jagged rising peaks, beautiful and distant and shrouded in fog and clouds. Tonight is very much colder than the last. Because of the fire being built by Jigme and his men, and because of, your precautionary buying cold weather gear and sleeping in tents, you're not freezing to death, you're not pulling a dick. But, it's pretty uncomfortable. And that night passes.
Oh boy.
Here on January 9th, you come to the 7th day of travel. And this one is rough.
I thought it was supposed to be our day of rest.
Alas, quite the opposite.
This is the day of
The day
rest.
begins maybe a half hour into the travel with a climb of a mountainside by a stone stairway created over the centuries by tens of thousands of travelers. At the top is this scattered forest of rhododendrons with hemlocks and firs interspersed within. There's a couple of barley fields and farms glimpsed nearby on hillsides, and water buffalo wallowing in mud pools. But for the entirety of the journey, you keep heading up through tall red trees, up and up and up and up. You ascend a full 3,000 feet today. And though you're only coming up to 8,000 feet, which is pretty high, but, you know, it's not impossibly high. Covering a ground of 3,000 feet is a rapid ascension, and I need everybody to make con rolls.
Hey, well, yeah, we're all gonna die.
Hell yeah.
Hard.
Boop-a-doop, normal.
Failure.
Failure.
Okay. Everybody else pass?
Oh boy, that's a big failure.
You failed too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Billy?
I got a hard.
Okay. And Felix, you passed?
Yep, I got a normal.
Hilariously, the author passed. Oh, Siva. Siva's okay. You guys start to feel pretty bad, and you're starting to get the first onset of altitude sickness. Those of you who failed are starting to feel a little dizzy, a little nauseous, wary,
Oh, I know.
headache. Your breathing feels a little bit shallower, and it's becoming pretty uncomfortable. While you guys are afflicted by altitude sickness, all of your skills are reduced by 5.
Yes.
And your strength and dex are reduced by 8.
Damn.
I don't like that number. Just make it fucking 10 if you want to do it. It's annoying.
So keep that in mind. You see Jigme sort of looking back at you guys struggling and just sort of goes, keeps going.
How dare he?
Alright. Thank you.
At the conclusion of the climb, you reach a small village amidst these sort of tall red pines on this sort of terraced hillside with a sign that reads Gorapani, the last stop of your friends Jigme and the others.
I'll thank them for their time
And
Let's
pay them, man.
pay him.
and pay the men.
Yeah.
Money time.
Siva negotiates with them, collects the payment, hands it over. He offers to shake Jigme's hand, but Jigme just, like, spits at his feet. Still seems pretty upset about the Drakmar thing.
Jesus.
And they all just sort of unload all the shit and drop it in the middle of the street and stalk off into the houses.
Huh.
And Siva just sort of stands there looking at the piles of your stuff, and he just sort of like splays out his hands like, well,
You want a few of us to stay here and like keep watch while y'all go find a new guide?
it's getting pretty late. I'm not sure we're going to find any. Might want to try to find somewhere to get some rest first, and then
Where are we gonna put all the shit?
we'll just have to move it off the road, I guess.
We brought tents. We're gonna end up camping.
I think that's probably the right move.
Here we go.
You guys end up having to drag all your stuff basically to the edge of the road, just outside of town, so that you're not interrupting the flow of the actual citizens. And you camp. It's even colder than the previous night. The dreams remain the same.
Fuck, sorry.
And you wake up on January 10th. And, yeah, okay.
Is cold. He's cold.
Siva says, right, who wants to help me go look for somebody?
Alright, well, here we go.
Alright.
Anker Felix Bronze. Ah. Fuck.
Okay.
Anker, Felix, and Bronson.
Okay. Whoever wants to sort of lead it. This
Foundation versus not foundation.
Yeah. This is not gonna be this is not gonna be a persuade roll because none of you guys speak the language. Siva's gonna have to manage that. Whoever wants to help, make a credit rating roll, and if that succeeds, I'll roll his persuade with advantage.
Oh boy.
With a bonus die at least.
Bonus day.
Bonus.
You want me to do it, or do you want it, HK?
HK?
I failed my roll. Can I push it?
Yeah.
And Felix could push or roll.
Good about this.
Anker has about 20 more credit rating than I do.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I rolled my 96 into a 6.
Okay, that's a lot better.
An extreme.
Roll that with advantage.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. The difference is Anker is old money and Felix is new money.
Yeah. It's it's a very distinct difference in money status. It takes a little while, the bulk of the beginning of the day, before Siva comes across a sort of skinny guy with longish black hair, the sort of like flowy white clothing, by the name of Tsewan Pemba, who has looks like 6 porters with him, which is fewer than your previous group, but Pemba appears to be the guy with the most porters in town. And Siva now is going to try to negotiate with him. With a little bit extra because of the credit rating. Negotiations go long into the afternoon, and the sun begins to set. And finally, he returns to you with Pemba and says, alright, so Mr. Pemba here has agreed to take us as far as, I believe he said Tayen, which, as I understand, is just a short distance from a monastery, which is very close to our destination. So, that'll be pretty much the rest of the way. So that's good.
Yes.
He only has 6 porters, though, so we're going to have to leave some things, I think.
Oh. I'm
Understandable.
not the egos.
What are you willing to leave behind? You could leave behind a little bit of food, a little bit of cold weather gear, a little bit of climbing supplies. We're going to have to leave something behind. It's probably going to be important.
We're not leaving behind climbing supplies.
Yeah, that would be a bad move.
Oh, I was gonna say leave behind climbing supplies.
When have we ever succeeded a climb roll?
How are we with, come on, we're pretty dexterous lads.
Yeah. My dex is now 82.
I don't want to leave behind climbing supplies.
Yes, if we
I'm
do
not
that,
saying
we
have
will
to-
die. So
We don't have to
Why don't
lose
we leave
all.
behind a little bit of food? We just, be a little bit more conservative with how much we eat.
what are our options or the things to leave behind?
It's food, so like hold the gear, and then like climbing gear.
Food and clothes.
You're gonna leave behind both? You only have to pick one.
We leave behind everything. We're doing this bare naked.
or you could split it and keep a little.
Mhm.
I mean, you don't have to leave behind all your food if you're gonna leave behind food. You would just have less going forward.
Yeah, I guess.
Probably gonna have to be other food, but we're gonna have to kind of speed things up
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah.
Well then, let's get a nice chunky dinner before we leave.
Chunky dinner,
Alright.
nice.
Pemba, who seems a lot more easygoing than Jigme,
This is a bad guy.
helps you guys find a pretty nice eatery, and you guys have a remarkably delicious meal. And fill up your stomachs for the journey ahead, as you regrettably leave behind some food in order to make way for the porters.
This isn't right. This is ours.
Give it back. We built it.
Soiled it.
And you go to sleep with full bellies, knowing that this will probably be the last time you do so in a while. January 11th. You're led by your new group, Tsewan and his porters, north and west over eroded low green hills still lush from monsoon rains. It's pretty uneventful until very suddenly, around midday, you crest over the rise of a hill and the ground just falls away.
Woo!
And you look down and you can see this massive, insanely deep, jagged canyon just gouging its way through the countryside. Far below is a river crashing through the rocks. Siva talks with Tsewan a little bit, and turns back to you and says, "This is Kaligandaki, the gorge."
We did it, boy.
Well, not quite, but...
Well, we made it here. Come on. We gotta give ourselves a pat on the back somewhere.
You make your way along the gorge. And unfortunately, due to the path, you basically have to sort of wind your way along the edge, and then like partially down into the gorge, but not all the way down. And you spend a large amount of the day just sort of going down these single file cut pathways in the side of the rock. But you don't travel very far, because Tsewan recognizes that a bunch of you guys are feeling ill, and he takes you guys back up out of the gorge after a little ways of travel to a small village that's sort of built on the edge of the canyon. And you guys lay down to rest in the early afternoon, and he seems to be insisting that you guys stop. Anybody who is currently afflicted can make a second con roll, as you have a little extra time to rest and recover.
Sounds nice.
I freaking passed
Oh,
with the hard because I
Hell
got a
yeah.
10.
I
Norm.
barely succeed.
Nope.
Wait, didn't you pass the first time, Felix?
That's what.
Yeah, I thought you passed the initial altitude sickness roll.
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
you
I
don't?
did. I just
Yes.
was rolling when we were rolling.
Yeah, no, you don't have to roll again. Did everybody pass or?
I did.
I passed. Normal.
Hard.
Barely, yeah.
I
You
heard we
failed?
were rolling, and I'm assuming that 87 fails all of my checks that aren't dodge.
Yeah. Did you say you failed? Anker?
No, I succeeded.
Okay. So you guys manage to catch your breath, start to feel a little bit better, the nausea starts to go down. Some of the villagers help you out and feed you. It's pretty nice, actually. Traveling with this guy is already way better than traveling with Jigme, who seemed to not give a shit whether you lived or died.
So, does the sickness go away?
The sickness goes away.
Okay. Sick.
But
Sick.
keep in mind what it does, because you may get it again.
Yeah, -5 to all skills, -8 to strength and dex. What a strange number.
It's because this is an older edition, and I have to modify things to bring it back up to current level.
Good.
I'll be right back.
This is a pleasant night.
Alright.
But the next night is January the 12th. I mean, the next day. And you know what that means?
What does it
Sorry,
mean?
I completely spaced out. What were the consequences for succeeding the check?
Succeeding the
Not
check
getting
means the illness is you are no longer afflicted.
Okay.
We're feeling good now, man.
You're feeling better.
We're feeling it.
Yeah. You got some time to rest.
We liked the cold
Yeah.
altitude.
I mean, you don't like the altitude. It sucks.
We like to party. We like to party. We're all really funny.
Alright,
No.
I agree with you on that.
We are. We're the funniest.
Did we?
Next day,
Yes.
you're making your way back down into the gorge a little bit, passing these steep ridges. Sometimes you go all the way down to the water's edge. Sometimes you go all the way back up to the top. It's disorienting having to navigate this canyon like this. Twice you have to pass over the river and then back again via these flimsy rope bridges. They're a little bit sturdier and a little bit less afflicted by wind than the previous ones, so you managed to get across, but it's still there's still a moment of panic. And at the end of the day, you reach another village called Tukucha,
Ooh.
which is sort of built into the side of the rock, where the porters that you brought have a vigorous argument with Tsewan. And Siva's like watching this happening, like,
Now what?
He comes back over to you. So, we've got a bit of a problem.
Of course.
Tsewan apparently did not tell them they were going to Drakmar. And they're upset with him now.
Why is
Oh.
this Drakmar place doesn't sound as fun as I thought it would be?
No, it's starting to sound pretty bad. You could see the porters throw down all your gear and stalk off into the village. And Seiwan is, like, standing there amidst the stuff, like, throwing up his hands, like...
Well,
That means we're gonna have to leave more stuff behind.
I don't want to do that.
Why don't we find an animal?
Siva says, hold on, wait here, Seiwan and I are going to go try to find some replacement porters. If we're not back in a little while, wait longer.
Okay, sir.
And he heads off into the village with Seiwan. A few hours go by, and then you see Siva and Seiwan return with 6 new porters.
Hey.
Rolled very well, so you don't have to leave anything behind yet. And he says, right, so Seiwan and I have agreed the D word is off limits for now.
I agree.
So hopefully that oh god.
It's not that bad.
And you guys go to sleep here in Takucha. The next day, January the 13th, 1931. Hold up. Hold up. Damn it! A Tuesday! I was hoping it was Friday.
also checking the same thing.
Rats!
Actually, it's the horse.
Arr, darn. Well... okay. You set out with your new porters. And as you climb, the seasons are changing. Crops that were being harvested in the villages you passed a week ago are barely ripening here. And there's a sense of walking further and further back in history as you leave lowland Nepal behind you. The villages and their way of life are looking increasingly simple. The climate harsher, the people tougher. You start the day by heading up steep grazing grounds, and then through light woods of pine and silver fir, villages struggling to grow barley and buckwheat. By midday, the terrain has changed. Leaving the trees behind, you're seeing a lot of barren rock. Deep, wind-eroded caves, weird rock formations. There's occasionally a small village, always with these sort of stone pillars painted red, black, and white around them. Clusters of paper and cloth attached to bushes or tapering piles of boulders. Every time you guys approach one of these pillars, Seiwan and the other porters walk around it clockwise.
Okay.
Siva has a conversation
why
with
they do it.
He has a conversation with him, and he turns back, he says, he's not really giving me much to go on, he just says it's something that you always must do. He starts to walk around the pillar clockwise.
Alright,
let's not be...
write that down, everyone. Walk around the pillars clockwise.
Yeah.
When in...
Gotta start doing that.
Alright.
When in Nepal.
When in Nepal.
As you guys travel into this barren, almost lunar landscape, I need everybody to make con rolls again. As you're starting to get, you're nearly at 10,000 feet, and it's starting to get pretty bad.
I pass.
I failed. Oh no.
Let us see.
Oh Oh my god!
The maestro cannot handle this shit.
Oh, a very
I
big
didn't.
fail.
My con is 40.
The maestro was not meant to be outside.
I'm getting fucking like 90s. I'm
Oh,
screaming.
no. Fucking Joseph is doing fine.
What is this?
Joseph here to show up the maestro.
Joseph is fucking kicking ass out here.
I'm currently clinging on to Joseph. Say, Joseph, can I? Yeah, your jacket's really big. Let me just.
Let me sneak inside.
God,
Pushes up his glasses a little bit and gives you a stern look.
don't look at me sternly.
He's already doing it.
Ah,
So who failed?
I did.
Maestro.
Yep.
Anker, you good?
He said he was.
He's
Easy though.
okay. Felix, you good?
Yep.
William?
Yeah.
Okay. Those of you who failed, put that shit right back on. Altitude sickness is back.
Yeah.
You start to get nauseous again and tired, shallow breaths.
I've got 76 con. Like, this shit is fine.
I have 60,
50,
but I just
50 here.
You have 60 con.
Yes, and I just can't seem to get it.
Jesus.
You move higher and higher and higher. And there are more of these prayer flags left out. From a distance, they look like figures in tattered robes, pale strips flapping in the wind, and every now and again you do a double take thinking the stranger is standing on a ridgeline overlooking you, but then it's just these flags attached to the boulders. As night falls, you come to a basically just an abandoned lean-to, and Sewan and his men huddle under there, and that's where you spend the night. As you guys are bedding down, Siva comes over to you guys and says, "We've gotten pretty far, and it's getting pretty tiresome, but I know I said I don't normally ask questions, but given the circumstances and the way everyone's been behaving, what is your business in Drakmar?"
I think we should tell him at this point. Just be upfront with him. Because he could die at any moment.
yeah.
Well, we all could die at any moment, really.
And look at the
We have to
just-
stop a cult ritual.
Yeah, we're here to stop. So-
Yes.
A cult ritual?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's pretty heavy shit.
Yeah.
What sort of cult?
We're not going to tell you that much.
You don't need to know the name.
You prepared to go all the way, Sonny?
He's our new
No,
band
not
member.
entirely.
The name.
Oh.
Yeah, we're not going to tell you.
Names hold power.
And for that, you're trekking this far into the mountains, putting yourselves all at this much risk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like
We've done this shit like a few
Yeah.
times.
Brother, we
we
do
do
this
this
stuff.
like
for
this is our
fun.
vacation.
Yeah, we ain't never been out this far. It's nice.
He's
I
like,
can't feel my fingers, and I
You know
think
the
I
last
lost a
time
few
we've been
times.
paid?
I mean,
Y'all
not
got
feeling
paid?
not feeling our fingers is better than getting them turned to ash like last
The
time.
last time I got paid was like the first one we
he,
did.
he turns to Felix with a concerned look on his face.
Or like the time the entire house filled with slime that wanted to eat us.
What? I don't.
And then
Oh, yeah.
and then I think the slime came back in Venice.
No,
It's like
There was-
cousin or something.
I don't think it came back. I thought it was different slime.
There was also that time we all mass hallucinated the same book.
Oh yeah.
And
And the time we fought a ghost train.
No, I like that one. That one was cool.
That one was fucking hectic. That one was fun though.
You gotta make it a little train chat.
Siva's looking back and forth between you guys. His eyes are like bulging out of his sockets.
Wasn't it like out of organs and stuff we had to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
Oh, and the time we met the Baba Yaga, who I think is still pissed at us.
Yeah.
He leans forward. What?
I assure you, we're all insane. Just take our money and get us there.
Did you just say, I assure you we're all insane?
Yeah.
He sort of scratches the back of his head. What the fuck have I gotten myself into? I should have just chauffeured a wealthy widow around town like all my friends.
I mean,
Yeah, but think of the great story you'll have after this.
If I have a story to tell.
Anka, we leave a lot of people with great stories to tell their families.
I don't know if they're really great. I think most of them are like traumatized.
Harrowing.
Oh no, they are great stories. They're not. They may have a bad impact, but they're great stories.
I wonder how that. I wonder how that small Balkan town felt after their entire town got overrun with chickens.
What?
Oh,
Trying really hard not to talk about Milan right now.
Trying really hard not to talk about Constantinople right now.
Oh! Or the 2 times we fought dragons.
oh yeah.
I'm going to sleep.
Good night.
It doesn't just stop in the waking world.
By the way, dragons are weak to dynamite.
Good to know.
Dynamite.
Rest in peace. We found his money in the afterlife.
Oh boy. Oh, Siva's starting to have second thoughts.
Join us,
Too late
bro.
now.
The next morning, which I think would now be the 14th of January. As you guys wake in the morning and start to stagger your way up through this rocky landscape, I need more con rolls. And I need them with penalty dies from those of you who are already sick.
No, don't do this to me, brother.
Sorry.
Oh
That's
my god,
necessary.
wow.
I failed.
I've already fucking failed.
I barely
Normal.
passed. I keep rolling like 47s and 48s and 49s.
Joseph's sick.
Okay. Altitude sickness 2.
Electric
Felix, how are you
boogaloo.
doing?
I got a normal.
Okay, so you and William are still doing okay. Did everybody else who was already sick fail?
I know I did that.
Okay. This is
So
gonna be
it-
rough for you.
It stacks on top of it?
Oh, it gets worse. Don't get better.
Are they
It's
gonna roll 2
cold.
penalty dice next time?
The third, it's like exhaustion in D&D. Eventually, you just fucking die. No. Let's see. So, you start to feel those symptoms you felt before, the nausea, the dizziness, the headache, they become more acute.
Aw?
You're starting to get a loss of coordination. You're starting to feel weakness in your joints and limbs. This throbbing, almost migraine-like headache, and a number of times you have to stop to just start vomiting during the day.
That's not a good look.
It is unpleasant, and you're starting to have a really tough time, and you imagine it's gonna get a lot worse once you start to get to increasingly high altitudes. Those of you with now full altitude sickness. You have a minus 15 to all skills. And your strength and dex are reduced by 15.
That could be worse, you know.
That's pretty bad,
My
but
strength's 15 now.
About
Which
those
Stiff
checks.
breeze will knock you over.
Let me check the.
There is a lot of
investigators.
stiff breezes up here, so you're in dangerous territory.
I was gonna say, and then we fight the Wendigo on top of a mountain.
Yep. Well, that'd be
When to
it.
go? I barely even know a go.
My eyes are ice and blindigo.
Here it is. Strength. Yes, 15 is puny, comma weak.
You're feeling really bad. William and Felix, you guys are feeling pretty strong. You look back at your compadres, and they are like pale and like
Hey,
spitting
I'm
biles.
fine. I don't have any exhaustion anymore.
It's almost like they've never gone to the ends of the earth for something insane before.
What the hell?
You see, Siva's actually managing to hold his own pretty well. But he's having a mental unpleasantness here. Yeah, that's how the maestro looks currently. Why'd you
Siva
post
still
that in
doesn't know-
Syndroa?
I don't
no.
know.
Steven still doesn't know what's under the eye patch. We can go levels worse.
Get rid of it. Get rid of it.
Nope.
Keep it in there.
It's a duplicate. It's fine.
Fantastic.
Did Charlie
Flick
tell
back
you
and
something
forth. It
in
looks
here?
like it's a weird, really weird flip book.
Yeah. And under the mask, it's another mask.
Oh no.
After that, there's nothing.
Heading up, you start to see your first yaks. Sort of marauding their way through the hills. And you follow this sort of trickling river that winds down past you up towards this small town. Only a couple of small huts, maybe 10. Sturdy houses with stacked piles of wood on their flat roofs. And, Sewan explains through Siva that firewood is extremely valuable commodity here, and the amount of firewood stowed on top of a man's house is indicative of his status.
Nice.
There are some with very little firewood, and there are some where it is stacked almost as tall as the house itself. Them's those rich sons of bitches. There's also a small, sort of Tibetan temple here, towards the end.
Is it one of those pillar temples?
It isn't. It's... Those didn't look like temples, they were just sort of, they were religious, but they weren't temples, those pillars. It is painted in the same colors, however, the temple.
What's the temple look like?
It's pretty Spartan. It's a very simple design, sort of stout, and comes to a sort of rising dome at the top. Inside there's a mural of 5 Buddhas. Although the last one looks a little weird.
Oh, yeah?
The last Buddha is a robed, hooded figure in white and gold strands. Etched onto the wall probably hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. There's like a single monk in there who's just chilling.
Is he, ready to mingle?
You can try to talk to him. Sewan, by the way, has fucked off at this point into the village, and Siva says, Well, it looks like this is as far as we go today. It's only been a half day's travel, but Sewan says he has to talk to somebody because they want to marry his daughter or something.
Oh,
So I
Well,
guess we're just
that-
staying here for now.
what a go-getter.
Uh,
Can I walk around the temple?
Yeah.
I'm gonna pigeon religion myself clockwise around the temple.
Okay. Siva sees you do this, and he seems to get really anxious, and he follows you and does it as well.
Hell yeah.
I follow them, hiking my legs up with my arms so I can move.
Okay.
Pigeon religion.
I love that guy.
Yeah. Because you guys, unless you guys want to do anything else, in here, or...
No.
Alright. So,
I'm gonna pet a yak.
Yeah.
it's alright. It's kind of a surly beast, but it's not aggressive, it's just sort of like... It's like petting a big shag carpet that is massively tangled and streaked with filth.
Everything I wanted and more.
It's not bad. You feel like you can get used to this, staying up here and petting yaks. Because you guys only did a half day of travel, those of you with sickness can make another con roll to try to reduce the symptoms.
With a penalty die?
No, just straight con.
I love that. Hey, I passed! I pay!
I'll, Joseph is still sick.
I passed.
Ankur?
What? I don't have any sickness.
Ankur
didn't
passed
have
last
it.
time.
Oh, did you pass? Sorry, I'm fucking stupid.
Yeah, no, I haven't had sickness for a while. I've passed
Sorry,
my rolls.
I'm dumb. So, the Maestro and Bronson benefit from this rest. You guys are back down to the first stage. It's not gone, but you're better.
We need.
You start spraying vomit everywhere and start getting it a little back under control. You're still pretty tired, you're still fairly nauseous, but you're getting it a little under control.
Hell yeah.
Finally back to just drooling vomit down my bib like an adult.
Yeah.
Speaking of my bib.
Foot's
my
on.
bib. My diaper. Never mind. No, I'm not gonna do that joke.
And then you guys go to sleep again. The dreams are even more intense tonight. More vivid. And again, you keep seeing that plateau. That building with those holes instead of doors. Stark and stone. Those caves winding with dark, quick-moving shadowed shapes. The hand extending out of the stars. The stairway descending to earth. And other things you haven't seen yet before. Sort of a spray of blood across a stone. Almost looks like an altar. There's a wind-swept snowstorm where you can see something huge moving through, just but you can't make it out. And a figure standing on a mountainside, wrapped in white and yellow, the wind blowing, watching you from darkness beneath a tattered hood, beckoning you with a long gloved finger. And there's a little more, but I have to type this.
The fuck, KMS? Why?
I don't control it, okay?
You had to keep us away from him.
I needed to
Why
get
did
it
you
out
have
of
to
my
share it
head.
with us?
I need to get it out of my head, but not
I
somewhere.
hate you.
Not in the recording.
None of us have the balls to say it since Sophie isn't here.
Sure.
Next week, Sylvia just read it out loud out of nowhere, no context, and it'll be done.
Then he turns himself into a pickle.
Funniest shit ever.
Oh boy. Hmm. Neat.
Hmm.
And then everybody wakes up.
Yeah.
Never has to wake up.
Arise and shine, get that bread.
Time to get that bread.
No.
Funny.
I don't want to be bread. No.
Bread is fine, actually.
January 15th.
How'd you guys do with yours?
What?
Sorry, it's really cold.
It is very cold. And you're feeling a little hungry. You've had to really start rationing your food. You've been coming towards not too much of it, not a ton of it left. Enough for another couple of days, but beyond that, it's gonna start getting dicey.
We're just gonna have to eat a yak.
I got some mixed nuts left.
About 100 feet away, a yak says, and starts shuffling away.
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Chase after
Minecraft
Felix.
cow
He's gonna get
noise.
away. He's gonna get away.
Have you ever had rats summoned inside your stomach?
What? Why are you talking me?
I'm talking to the cow.
It's running.
That's right.
Yeah, you get out of here, coward.
Seiwan is watching this with his hands on his hips, shaking his head.
Coward.
Yeah.
Siva
emphasis
says,
on the cow.
Seiwan says, don't antagonize the yaks.
Too much of a cow.
So are you telling us don't talk back to the yaks?
Yakety yak, don't come back.
I was gonna make that joke earlier, but I decided against it. But now you made it for me. Thank
Don't
you.
worry, I got you.
God.
I'm here to help.
The trail today follows the bed of the Kali Gandaki. the river flowing fiercely. The variety in the landscape is reduced to rock and cliff. There's nothing else. There aren't even tufts of vegetation. And you move higher up and higher up and higher up. Luckily, you're not ascending too significantly today, so you're not getting hit with any sickness at the moment. But it's still hard, and those of you with even a little bit of sickness are finding it really, really hard to catch your breath. There's a sort of windstorm blowing, whipping up dust. And shadows lengthen as you come to what looks like a fortress perched high on the cliff. Maybe a couple 100 yards on each side. Tall, smooth walls leaning inward. Sewan leads you to a small gate, and you move single file through a narrow passage into a square hemmed in by red and white houses. This is some kind of small monastery. More like a monastery town, really. And after a little bit of a discussion between him and Siva, Siva comes back to you and says, Sewan says we're stopping here today. He says he'll take us as far as Tayen in the morning, and then his obligation to us is finished.
Well,
Sounds fair.
yeah, take what you can get. Wish it was longer.
As you guys are sort of getting set up in this, it's pretty comfortable, walled in by this, you're protected from the winds by these walls, and it's actually a lot warmer in here, and a lot cozier than some of the places you've stayed in the last couple of nights. And as you guys are getting your camp together, Sewan comes over to Siva and is talking rather animatedly to him. And Siva comes back over to you and says, Sewan has been talking about the journey a little bit to some of the people here, and he's found out some interesting things.
Oh boy.
That I think you might want to hear about, given your goals.
Well, lay it on me.
Sewan told me that the people here say that 4 white men passed through here in early November.
Those
Yeah.
are probably the white men we're looking for.
Yeah,
Those.
Those white men.
They said that, there is a white man now at the monastery at Tay, but they don't know about the others. They say the man went on, the 4 went past the monastery, and this white man came back.
Back.
They also say that there are ghosts stalking the mountains, and that some people say that the ghosts took them.
Oh?
Sewan comes running over all of a sudden. He's like, oh, hello, Sewan.
Hey.
And, Sewan thrusts something into Siva's hand and is pointing to it and pointing at you guys and pointing to it. And Siva holds it up and says, well, I'll be damned.
What's going on here?
He's holding a small book, bound in red leather.
Ooh.
An Italian-Hindi dictionary that he seems to have recovered from a box that he is holding.
What the fuck?
And he's saying, he says that the white men recovered this stuff from the monastery. Or the white men left something at the monastery and they recovered this from there, or something like that? I'm having trouble with the translation. This must be how they were talking to people in India. An Italian Hindi dictionary. And what's in this box?
What's in the box?
Opens up the box. He holds it up. These are... There are 6 5-round clips for a rifle.
What?
If anybody has good rifle skill, they can try to tell what kind.
I don't think I really need to roll succeed.
Fuck is it you got?
I passed. my roll.
They are 6.5 millimeter and intended for a light carbine. The other thing in the box is another book with a black cover and the word diarrheo spelled out in gold leaf.
Yes.
Well, I guess he farts gold.
Siva opens it up and flips through it a little bit. He says, well, it's in Italian, but he picks up the Italian Hindi dictionary. I can probably try to translate this.
Hey, that would be
It'll
pretty
probably
awesome.
take me a little while.
Take your time.
I wish Luigi Fettuccine was here.
You can just read it. Nobody happens to know Italian, do they?
No.
Well,
Wait, didn't we buy an Italian to English dictionary when we were in Italy for a bit?
Yep.
that would probably make this a bit faster if you want to try to do it.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll fucking rely on this book here. Alright, let's go.
Alright, make a language own roll.
How much does Joseph have?
Okay, yeah, fair. Let me find his, where it says his goddamn...
Anchor might.
Yeah, let's do it for him. It's a 90.
Oh.
He has 90 language own. Okay. Joseph informs you that he can definitely translate this, but there's a lot, and it'll probably take him a bunch of the night and a bunch of tomorrow to get it done. So, it'll be a little time. But it can be done.
Alright, sounds good to me.
And you guys go to sleep here at the Monastery of Kag. Let's see here. The next day. You know what day this is? January 16th. 1931.
Woo!
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
The end of the second week of travel through Nepal.
I thought it was going to be something fun.
Nah. Climbing your way up, you can see the porters are clearly unhappy and are complaining to each other and to Tsewan constantly. And after only about a mile, the riverbanks have become cliffs. Almost sheer. And you are getting higher and higher and higher. You're at an altitude now at probably about 11,000 feet.
Hato Dogu.
And you can see the Himalayas, the Annapurna Range, rising up past you. These snow-covered peaks that rise a good 26,000 feet into the sky. Somewhere up near that range is Drakmar. But not yet. Eventually, you manage to reach the tiny, remote village of Tayen.
Oh,
There, as Joseph is finishing the translation, Siva and Sewan talk to some of the villagers, and Siva comes back to you and says, "Well, the people here definitely say there's a stranger at the monastery in Te. I say it's a young man. Comes down for food now and again to the village and then heads back up. He said he had followers, but he doesn't know where they are. They say he's touched by the gods, but I don't know what that means. And they also say that he has not come down from the monastery for a few weeks. So maybe he's dead. I don't know." You can see, over the course of the last couple of days, Siva has gotten increasingly uncomfortable. He looks like, at any moment, he looks like he's ready to turn tail and just run screaming back down the valley. But he's hanging on, for now. And then, Joseph says, "I did it!" That's what he sounds like.
What a dork, what a fucking nerd.
Having successfully translated the diary, which is very long. So I'm gonna read it now. Y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking get comfy.
Should we wait for Tryhard to come back?
Do you wanna?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Pause recording just in case he's pooping.
Yeah, you're
Pause
right,
it for
okay.
Tryhard's poo-poo break, everybody.
Alright, I'll pause it for Tryhard's poo-poo break. Poopy. Back from your big stinky.
Poopy.
Back from poopy.
break.
Big
He's
poopy.
back from his poopy break.
Back from poopy.
Yes, I'm back. What? No. I had to close the door. I came back. What?
Back from poopy. He's poopy man.
Why are
Did
you
you get
like
that on the
this?
recording?
Big shitter over here.
Did you get that on the recording?
Hey, we got a shitter over here.
This dude's
We got you.
pooping.
I didn't have to do that.
Shitter.
Are you the person that walks into the bathroom? Hey, yo, someone's shitting in here.
Yes.
That's me. And then I look under the stall, look under the gap in the stall so I can make eye contact with him.
I crawl under and I get inside.
You grab their shoes and say, "One of those."
I rattle the door and then I look through the little gap.
Hey, yo.
People do this?
Yeah.
I don't shit in public.
Alright, I'm gonna read the diary now.
This is important, has a lot of info, by the way, Tryhard. That's why we stopped.
This is the diary.
Oh, by a wimpy kid.
This is the diary of Carlo Schiapone,
Oh, this is BP.
the grad student you knew was part of the journey. This is gonna take a hot minute. There's a couple of entries. Day 1. Leave Naples on the Vittorio Alfieri, bound for Bombay. Dirty, cramped, and noisy. Seaworthy, I think. It carries Anzalone, Quarry, Del Negro, and me, in addition to its cargo of wine. Day 2. Away from Del Negro, we go over the plans to get to Mustang and Drakmar. Going on to Calcutta and Darjeeling means a journey around the Himalayas and through Tibet. This adds a month or more against the other route, north through India to Natanwa. If we take that route and get across the border, we walk north through the Nepalese foothills, then up the Kali-Gandaki River Valley, between the mountains, into Mustang and Drakmar. We agree on Natanwa. Now to convince our companion. Day 4. Writing this on deck, somewhere in the eastern Mediterranean. Yesterday, Quarry used the sweet words of Hastur to break Del Negro's memory of the orders he was given by the army. Today, he employed a variation on the same subtle language to tell him our goal is Drakmar. Del Negro now thinks this was the plan all along. I almost feel sorry for the fool. Anzalone has told the ship's captain we'll leave at Bombay. Day 12. Talking to one of the sailors, I learn he is just from outside Civitavecchia. We find we both know one of the priests there. Day 18. I can't sleep. In the dark, my mind always races, but not with the usual nighttime thoughts of my mortality. What are we doing? I have so many fears. Will we find Drakmar? If we do, will we be killed by Chaugnar Faun and the Tsotsoa, as they must have killed so many? What if we too fail to help the king in yellow back to Earth? What if we succeed? Day 19. No, we attempt a great thing. We will be legend. Day 25. It's not easy to sleep in the heat. I am counting the days until we can leave this hulk. Day 36. Arrive Bombay and claim we are heading for Darjeeling and Tibet. Day 37. Anzalone, Quarry, and I went to the Towers of Silence to speak to an Indian holy man, a Parsi of local renown. Most go to listen, we went to talk. We talked of Chaugnar Faun and the white acolyte he waits for. We talked of the sun, the acolyte, the king in yellow, the tattered king who one sees only in dreams, and of the stranger in the pallid mask, the ghost who moves among us. And we spoke of Hastur, the father, whom Quarry and Villiers have seen. I watched the man closely. Though he didn't speak, I can read a man's eyes, and I knew that what we said was true. Knew what was coming, knew we were part of it. Day 38. We walked in Bombay today and saw the yellow sign painted and set out. We saw the white silks and the tattered rags of the king. We are lords of this place. The prophet walked with us, and my doubts are gone. Day 39. We are leaving the city by train. It's 4 days to the border. Day 42. The country is endless. It seems as though we travel against a current, traversing the same landscape hour after hour. The people here impress me. They are full of life, serious, devout, and proud. They are ready, and this will be good land when his. Day 43. The town of Natanwa. We hope to cross the border here tomorrow and meanwhile collect food and other equipment. This town has most of what we need. Day 45. Anzalone has yet to find a guide. Quarry and I said we should go now and find a guide over the border, but Del Negro says we must wait, that we can't carry all we need ourselves, and Anzalone listens to him. We now think we will have to wait for a caravan to arrive south from Nepal. Day 47. A caravan of Nepalese arrived today. Anzalone talked to them in his little Nepalese and in Hindi. They'll take us and our loads as far as Pokhara. Now we wait until the leader, his name is Ripa Tendruk, transacts his business here before we can leave. 51. Tendruk is not ready. He shows no urgency, he just smiles and he can't be bullied. I am nervous that we will attract attention from the British. We are so close now. I look north and know the clouds hide the mountains where he can be found. Day 52. We finally entered Nepal today. This morning, the porters complained at what they were given to carry, and I had to weigh every load and make them exactly alike before they would take them up. The 4 of us did not cross the border with them, but rather moved through the trees off a way and rejoined them down the road. Anzalone has shaved off his beard and mustache, and we now all hide in the heavy Nepalese robes that they wear. We had little trouble. We did come to a checkpoint where the guards seemed angry and wanted to know who we were, but when Anzalone gave our guide some coins and 2 bottles of the local spirit to pass on, they were happy with that. Didn't have to show them the yellow sign. Day 57. The village of Pokhara. Tendruk lives here and won't go further north, so we need another guide. We also need more supplies. The paper money we bought is useless. The people here don't want it and we're low on coins. Day 59. We have a new guide, youngster Chumpo, a Tibetan. Del Negro and I go with him to look at the way north and west, while Anzalone and Quarry stay in the village. They feel the lack of air already. Day 61. I have to say I need some real food. We are living on rice and little else. Day 63. Leave Pokhara and press on. The 3 of us, Del Negro, Chumpo, 4 porters and 5 yaks, each with a driver. The yaks are strong and evil-tempered beasts. Day 65. Anzalone swapped jewelry he bought in India for potatoes, eggs, and chicken. A feast. Day 67. Finally made the river today. Day 71. The village of Tukucha. Day 72. Today, by our reckoning, we entered Mustang. In the morning, we will head to the Annapurna and start the search for Drakmar. Day 73. Drakmar. Oh no! Day 73. It was a hard climb today, and though Del Negro and I are fit, Quarry and particularly Anzalone need much help. Their breathing is ragged and Anzalone complains of headaches and nausea. Day 74. We head out from Anzalone's map reference. We split up. I led one group to climb the dry valley. Del Negro takes the other over the other side of the ridge to the south. We walk all day and meet to camp as the light fails. It's very cold and hard going. No one lives up here. There's nothing for anyone. Day 75. We found it. My group came across it at midday, just where we thought it would be. The tall cliffs and the valley floor are painted orange, and there are caves all around. Our porters have left, and although the guide stayed, he will not camp in the valley. Anzalone is quite sick now. He woke several times in the night saying he was suffocating. Day 76. We entered Drakmar for the first time. And there is script on the walls with drawings. In the 4th cave, a creature was watching us from shadows, quite still, a tsotsoa. When I saw him, he moved quietly away. Del Negro saw him, and he shouted and raised the gun, but I stopped him. I said it must have been a monk or even one of the porters come back, but he does not believe that. He is very watchful now. Our guide left in the night. We went in again today and found fresh waste, and then human bones. Just jaws, which I think had been stripped by teeth. There is a deep, regular noise that can be heard. Was it there all the time? And the ground seems to tremble ever so slightly. It moves in rhythm with my own heart. I think I am close to panic. Del Negro insists we must leave the place, and we agreed. He is packing everything as I write this and intends to watch all night. But none of us will leave. There's a bit of a space there after that, and then the writing is a lot more frantic and erratic. What have you done? In the dreams I saw the monster, the root of all evil, a dream and a reality, a nightmare or not, and waking in a surge of fear and pleasure, the three of us, and he was a little way off. They talked, and when he looked around at me with his eyes, I struck him down, hit him again and again. He took so long to fall. I am looking at him now. They were furious. What have you done? What have you done? Wasted hatred. What have you done? But how could he matter? Was he the white acolyte? No. What have you done? No, he lies, still spread out before me, a bloody cut of meat. He waits for them, and we with him. He will come. A god, a monster. What have I done? It's out there, a piece of the monster. Miri nigri. What have I done? 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 It goes on like that. That's the end of the diary.
That wasn't as funny as the Wimpy Kid one.
I mean, at least he knows standard protocol for ending the diary.
Yeah, you gotta go crazy at the end of a diary. It's mandatory. Siva has been listening to this and is just horrified.
Never told you, didn't we? Wait, why'd we let him listen in?
Why not?
He's our friend.
Yeah, but look, he's scared now.
He should be scared.
He should be.
He's going
Start
on.
believing in ghost stories, boy. You're in one.
Arr.
Thank you for that.
You better start believing in references.
So, what'd you think?
Right.
Shoot me some Italian people.
Any C&C? Any constructive criticism?
We didn't ride.
Well, good night.
Are you really not? Okay.
Good night.
I mean, I thought that was pretty interesting. You had a lot of
Good
good stuff in there.
night.
Why did you say it like Borat? Good night.
You guys go to sleep here in Tyen. Those dreams are even more intense. Again, the same visions over and over again. The plateau, that stone house, the staircase, the stars, the reaching, beckoning hand. All of you, those messages you received before, you hear them again, repeated again, and again, and again, and again, burrowing into your skull.
Oh yeah, baby, talk dirty to me.
And you'll wake up in the morning.
Hey, I'm in the morning.
As the sun comes up, Siva is alone with you, and all of your stuff is piled next to you. And Siva says, "So, Sewan took his porters back."
Yeah.
Did he leave our stuff?
He did.
Okay, well, at least...
I got into an argument with him early this morning. He said that this place was damned and cursed, and that he could not risk his men by taking them any further, and he left in quite a hurry back down the mountain.
Well, we know we're going in the right direction.
Wait, at this point, like, do we need... No, I guess we still need...
You're
was
going to
gonna
have
say-
to probably sacrifice a lot of this.
What would you suggest?
It's up to you.
Alright, come on.
So what you've got is, you've got the cold weather gear, you've got the tents, you've got the food, you've got your normal gear, which is your various weaponry. You've got that's basically it. And you've got that's about it.
I say we leave a little bit more food.
You're gonna need to leave more
gear.
than that.
A lot of more? Okay, a little bit more food and,
Fuck the climbing gear.
Yeah, you've got the climbing gear as well.
Well, we can like do half of like.
If we're going to a temple, how much farther is it?
Well, From what I was told, there's the monastery, and then beyond that, the cursed land of ghosts or whatever is supposed to be a day or two journey beyond that into the higher mountains off the path.
Okay, we're dropping the tents then.
Alright, that'll free up a bunch of weight.
Because we're going to a place we can bunker down in, and then a place we can bunker down in.
I hope.
Alright. So you're leaving the tents. You're leaving a little bit more food, you said? To be fair, you already left food before, so leaving a little bit more food will probably leave you with no food.
I don't think we should leave more food again.
We need food to not die.
I mean, how about we don't have to leave all the climbing gear behind if we can just leave like some.
Then you're gonna have to decide who among you has it.
Hmm.
Well,
I'm good at climbing.
I'm not.
I assume most people aren't actually.
No, I feel like most of them are pretty good. You up with points in climb, you're right? You're pairing.
No, I didn't.
Alright, well I can climb, so I can leave mine behind.
Okay. You're probably gonna have to at least... Leaving the tents frees it up. Beyond that, you'll probably have to leave at least half the climbing gear, and maybe a little bit of weaponry if you don't want to leave any of the cold weather gear.
Okay.
Well, I'm assuming our pal Joseph here can't actually climb up.
He's got base climb.
Yeah, I figured. Well, no one else can climb, so I mean the only thing is
Cold weather gear.
Yeah.
Stronger.
You gonna leave your cold weather gear?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
have
no
base
normal.
climb.
Could always give up the normal gear as well.
The guns.
You'll take my
Guns and
rifle out of my
dynamite?
cold dead
Yeah,
hand.
with that.
I mean, you got plenty of guns.
You'll take my shotgun out of my cold dead other hand.
You have.
He's been lugging a rifle and a shotgun into the high Nepalese mountains.
Come on, man.
Be prepared. Be prepared. Unless you've got a spare.
Are you fucking singing the song from
prepared.
Hoodwinked?
Be prepared.
He was.
Alright, so who else is leaving climbing gear? Who else is keeping climbing gear? I mean,
Me.
okay, I should phrase that. Who's leaving climbing gear? Bronson's leaving climbing gear. 2 more people have to leave climbing gear. Who's got the balls?
Who's got the stuff?
Stuff.
And you guys aren't alone. Don't worry. We'll help you out. Don't worry. All right. You fellas trying to preserve your life and shit. I swear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, somebody's gonna have to do it. Unless you guys want to leave way more of the other stuff.
It gets a little bit cold. You probably don't want to be.
If you're leaving the tents, also
does
leaving all the
anyone-
cold weather gear is probably going to be really bad for you.
Does
Yeah,
anyone
right.
have above base climb
Yes.
besides you?
Do we
I-
know? Okay.
I don't
Do we
think
know
so.
we're even gonna need to climb?
Yes.
It's gonna get more steep and more mountainous ahead, so
We're
probably.
in the mountain, brother. Who wants? How about we start playing some games here, eh?
You know what? Fine, fuck it, I'll leave mine.
All right,
King here. We got a king.
one more.
Let's draw straws for this one.
All right, everybody roll it. Everybody roll.
Take cold weather gear instead.
Everybody
of
roll a
climbing.
D120. Wait, what?
Ankur will take cold weather gear instead of climbing gear.
Okay. So, all right. Beyond that, with the climbing gear left, some of the climbing gear, and the tents, you need to leave a little more cold weather gear or a little bit of your general equipment. Or you're gonna be too weighed down.
I can leave a rifle.
Felix will dump some of his general equipment.
All right, what are you dumping?
And by that I mean Felix just starts opening his case and just pulling out things. He pulls out a spare suit. He pulls out a handsaw. He
Got another
A
rat. Here's another rat.
pulls out a rope. Pulls out 2 rats. Looks at them and then puts them back in.
Yeah, I thought as much.
The bare essentials.
And Ankur, you said you were putting down the rifle?
I'm putting down a rifle.
Okay.
Just taking the shosh.
Alright. That'll be enough. You guys are good.
Dope.
And as you guys get ready to head out, there's a bit of hesitation. And Siva says, I think I'm going to wait here for you.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you for taking us as far as you did. Because this is a really long way.
Yes, I'll help you get arranged with a guide to take you as far as the monastery. I don't think they're going to go any farther, but I'm going to spend some time here. Everything that I've heard sounds horrible about up there. That diary scared the shit out of me. I don't want to deal with a cult. That seems to be your business.
I hand him a Jefferson and tell him to go buy some beer.
He says, I don't think they have any here, but I appreciate it.
Oh, jeez.
I puts it away and says, good luck on your journey. I genuinely and truly hope to see all of you come back down that mountain in a little while, and I will be honored to guide you back.
Godspeed.
Godspeed to you. He's gonna head into the inn. Shortly thereafter, a young Nepalese man, comes out.
Shrimpy.
He is a little shrimpy.
Shrimpy young man.
Shrimpy young man. And he looks like he's carrying some fresh food, and says, food for monks. Follow, I take you. And then he's just gonna start shuffling off towards the direction of the monastery.
Oh boy, are they gonna eat us?
He's holding food. He's bringing him food. So, this is the hardest day yet. Up until now, you've sort of followed the valleys of Nepal, climbing slowly and steadily, bypassing the ranges, but now you're heading into the mountains proper. There's not any technical climbing needed yet, but there are passages that require a lot of strength and balance and care. And you are taking maybe 6 or 7 hours of hard trek across treacherous rocky terrain. It is fucking exhausting. First of all, though there is no official technical climbing, I need everybody to make climb rolls.
Yes. With
if you have climbing gear, make it with a bonus die.
What are we doing?
Hey, bada bing 6.
Hey, hot dog.
Holy shit, I got an 18!
Hey.
Oh, we just went from
Wait,
a
what are we
98
doing?
to an 8.
Climb roll, climb. With a
With a bonus if you have gear.
I
Oh,
got
cool.
myself an ad success.
I got the norm.
A normal, you say?
I'm not.
That means you die.
That
Thank
means you
you.
are fucking dead.
Thank you.
Did everybody pass?
I think so.
Thank you.
Okay.
Climbing gear.
You guys have
Thank you, my legs.
you guys make a decent amount of progress. You're not doing so bad climbing up. However, the exertion of doing so and the now increasing height, I need con rolls for sickness again.
Wait, when we were staying in the village, did we get rid of our sickness or?
No, you didn't stay long enough.
Okay.
Oh boy, I success.
I got an 11. No, it's an extreme.
I freaking failed my roll.
Oh, jeez.
I'm gonna die out here, boys.
Oh my god.
I brought to norm.
Oh, hi. I was gonna say roll 20 is freezing, but then
Oh,
it just
boy.
gave me this.
Uno.
It was thinking about whether or not to cheat for you.
Did anybody fail other than the maestro?
Maestro babe, come on.
Okay, so most of you guys are still managing to keep it under control. The maestro collapses a couple of times and he's starting to vomit again.
Oh my god.
Wait, I was sick last time.
Oh, did you fail?
No, I passed it, but do I keep it or do I?
You still have it, but it doesn't get
Okay.
worse.
Alright, cool. No, Maestro.
Joseph is going to have to give him the mushy rice. Here comes the choo-choo train.
Yeah, that's basically what's happening.
The station's open. I was mostly
Look,
stationed
look at me,
at sea
buddy.
level.
We're not that high up. I mean, just look down there.
You look down and it does like the vertigo shot where it goes.
See, it's not that bad, buddy.
The maestro vomits.
Oh. Maybe that wasn't the best idea.
You manage to make it up slowly and steadily, and as daylight is beginning to fade slightly, it's sun's still in the sky, but it's starting to dip behind the mountains. It's getting sort of orange. You can start to see the monastery. You made the journey in one day with successful climb rolls, although this man's feeling pretty sick. You can see this sort of stout building. A couple of buildings, but one larger one, sort of shaped in a trapezoid shape, augmented by red painted clay and largely painted white. And there's a long approach across this sort of like scattered boulders and craggy rocks towards this this looming stone sentinel at the top of this rise, the monastery. Tiny, tiny windows. A large part of it looks badly damaged over time, just weathered and partially ruined. The main building still looks pretty good. You get closer and closer and closer. About 400 yards from the monastery, the guide sort of calls out, shouting for, in Nepalese, alerting the people that he's here, and a man appears in the doorway. And then you hear this. And you see your guide stagger back and spin around.
Uh-oh.
And you see him just start to roll partially down. You can see he's bleeding from the chest. He just...
What? Why? Why?
They fucking shot him.
Oh my god.
So, I think we found the cult.
So,
Why?
you can barely make out this figure.
This is why I cleaned my shotgun.
400 yards away, this man. You can barely make it out. And the guide is alive, but he slid down the hill and he's just like clutching his chest. He's been shot like square center mass.
Am I the only one with like first aid?
This has to happen now.
Oh, I think there are other people.
I got 52, but
Yeah, I think you got.
I need everybody to tell me their dexes.
oh boy.
I will write it
Diddy.
down.
64.
Yeah, post them actually.
Right,
my
it's
God, what
down.
do I
Oh
look
wait, hold on. It's -5 right to skills. Oh fuck, it's actually 70. Wait, no, wait, it's -8. Fuck. So it's 67. I know math.
75. 60.
God,
Anger's 60 as well.
it's still wild.
The maestro.
Still 75 after being.
Yeah, my base dex is 90.
75, but I'm hurt.
Oh, and let me be very clear. Very
Yes.
clear.
Yes.
I am still beautiful. Appearance is only.
Oh yeah, you look. You're a dime.
Duh.
You're a dime.
When I look up at you, vomit boiling or vomit frothing over my lips, I still give you that nice maestro charm, that ding smile.
As he's vomiting, I'm just blushing.
He expels his yak butter gracefully.
Yeah. Well, dude, I'll just do this picture of Longbow Jag.
I love that guy. No, I don't
Put
actually.
him on there.
I hate him.
Hate that guy.
Hate that guy.
Pathfinder looking ass.
Pathfinder looking ass. Okay, so as you guys like sort of like are startled by this gunshot, you see the man take a few steps forward and just like you see him looks like he's reloading a rifle in his hands. You still can't really make out his appearance. But that's all he can do on this round. Bronson.
All right. So how far again?
He's 400 yards.
How about the guy that got shot? How far is?
He's about 100 yards from you.
All right. I think I'm gonna try to go for him, try to like stabilize him or something.
Okay. Make a dex just to try to like sprint in that direction.
Alrighty. All right. Normal.
Normal. Okay, so you're almost there. You're getting there. You're not quite at him yet, but you're rushing in that direction. Maestro.
What's the environment around us?
It's this sort of like low, jagged slope with a scattering of broken boulders and stuff that rises up towards this temple at the top of the hill. And the man has like stepped out from the temple and is firing down the slope.
I'm gonna take a pot at him and dive behind a boulder.
You're gonna what?
Take a pot shot and then dive behind a boulder.
Okay. What's the range on your gun?
I don't even know. It probably wouldn't even work, would it? Let's check. 15 yards. How far is he?
He's 400.
Yeah, okay, never mind. I just get behind a boulder.
Okay. So you dive behind a boulder, trying to get some cover. William. Nick.
Me?
I was muted. I didn't realize.
Oh.
Okay. Bronson went to stabilize the man, right?
He's heading over. He's not there yet, but he's running there.
Okay. I'm gonna try and get behind the boulder.
Okay, you dive behind a boulder as well. Felix.
Yes.
What's happening?
Should I just shoot the guy over there?
He's certainly a distance away, but yeah.
If you've got something that can clear 400 yards.
Maybe if you want to try to
Does
take
the
cover up
Enfield
the.
do that?
What is the range of the Lee Enfield?
110.
110 yards?
Yeah.
Not quite. You can try, but it'll be at a significant disadvantage.
I'm gonna take cover and try to get into a good position then.
Okay, so you're gonna take cover and try to like start winding your way up the side of the mountain. All right. Who's next? Ankur.
I'm gonna get out my shotgun and then get behind a boulder and try to get to a better position.
All right, you're trying to work your way up the side as well. Joseph is just gonna go for cover.
Hell yeah, king.
This guy, yeah, he passes out. The guy who's lying there, like, ugh. And then the man up ahead steps forward, fires again. It's beyond his maximum range as well, so he's rolling at disadvantage. Some of the dirt and gravel and rock just explodes a few feet from your feet, Bronson.
Oh boy.
And he's still walking forward with purpose, holding the rifle. Bronson.
Yep, still gonna try to. Oh my god, the man is coming for him.
Oh no! I'm here. It's me. I got a rifle.
He's changed
FBI, open
targets.
up.
You're able to reach the man now. You can try to make a first aid.
Oh boy, oh boy. Please, God. Yes, it's a normal.
All right, you like sort of slide to your knees over on top of him, sort of pressing down on the wound, ripping off a bit of his shirt to try and tie off some of the blood flow. It's helping slightly. He's still passed out, but you feel like you're stabilizing him, at least trying to prevent him from dying, or at least in this immediate instance. Whew, all right. Oh boy. What is his actual range? Oh, right. Not
far away, man.
he needs to be a lot closer. He's getting a lot closer though. He's like walking very briskly and with purpose. He's probably only like 270 yards away now. He's walking down the mountainside with the gun out. Maestro.
I hold fast.
All right, you hold tight. Just William.
The man is not moved, right?
The man?
The man who was shooting at us.
He's been walking down the mountainside.
Towards us?
Yes.
Yes.
While firing.
He wants to get us
away is it?
real good.
He's about 275 yards.
Okay, I'm gonna hold tight, but get my gun out, ready to fire as soon as I see him.
Felix.
Yeah.
You still trying to creep up the side?
Yep.
Give me a stealth roll to see if you avoid his notice.
Oop-a-doop. Yeah.
Alright,
Yeah.
you're pretty stealthy. You're pretty fucking stealthy. He has no idea you're there. Ankur, if you're doing the same, also give me a stealth roll.
Okay. Let's check what the stealth is. That's not fast. I fail.
Okay, you're making a little bit more noise. The gravel's sort of slipping under your feet. Joseph is just gonna hold still where he is and covering his head. Has no gun skill whatsoever and does not want to be brained. This man walks closer and closer and closer. About 150 yards from you guys. Probably now about 60 yards from both Ankur and Felix. And you see he kneels down and just sort of like sweeps to the side, sweeps to the other side, sweeps and sees Ankur and
Oh, can I dodge?
you can make a dodge roll, but that'll forfeit your next round.
Fine. passed.
You passed? What kind of pass?
Normal.
Normal. Okay.
Pass.
So he is still going to hit you, unfortunately.
Oh.
How much health you got, by the way?
9.
Okay, well, this isn't going to kill you.
Stop shooting Anker!
It's gonna come close.
Stop nearly killing me with one shot.
You dive, and the bullet just explodes through your side and rips out the other side. You just go tumbling to the side. You take 8 points of damage.
Holy shit.
Oh.
And you just like are staggered and dropped, rolling in the dirt. I need you to make make a con roll to see if you pass out as well.
Ooh, I succeed.
Okay, so you're not passed out, you're just like in agonizing pain. And he's trying to reload for another round. You can now get a better look at him since he's closer. He's tall and broad, sort of bearded and haggard and wild-eyed. But those of you who did some research in Italy recognize, oh fuck, this is a really haggard, insane-looking Carlo Schiappone.
Oh.
Is it a crime?
Bronson,
like I do?
you just finished, like, stopping this guy's bleeding, and then you see a bullet just rip through probably an inch from the kidneys of Anker Gilhoof.
Oh boy. Well, I better go get to this guy now before he bleeds out.
You're gonna run across, make a dex roll.
Oh, yes. Jesus. I am the medic. Oh fuck, oh no. I didn't get that one.
We really need to get a sight for Anker's gun.
Yeah.
I would have fucking made it if I
So
didn't
you're
have
just running, but like you're sort of panicking a little bit because you have to. You're now a lot closer to this guy. He's a lot closer to you, and you're sort of stumble in the gravel a little bit, and you're crossing like right across his sight line to get to where Anker is. Maestro, holding tight.
How close is he?
He's from you about 150 yards.
Yeah. Are the other guys stabilized?
The Nepalese guy is stabilized.
Okay, yeah, I'll wait.
All right. William.
I can get a deal in this game?
In the modern times.
Yeah, I think it's a modern times weapon.
So how far is he from
150
my boulder?
yards.
I don't think there's a time traveling people though.
Yeah, well then I'm just gonna keep staying here.
Okay. Felix. He's about 60 yards from you.
60 yards is in range.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take aim behind some cover and try to blow his fucking brains out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a hit. I think that's a hard.
Alright, roll damage.
2d6 plus 4, right?
2d6 plus... Is that what the Leon field is?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
2d6 plus 4, yeah.
Sweet.
You fire and you see it rips partially through him, and he staggers and falls to one side. Let's see if he stays awake. It's not dead, but that hurt a lot. His con is okay. Maybe it's lack of food, maybe it's just the stress of the situation, but you hit him and it doesn't kill him, but he holds up the rifle, goes to reload it, and then like his hand just sort of paws at it and he slips and just slumps to the side, passing out from the pain.
Oh hell yeah, we can interrogate him now. I hear.
Someone go get him!
I go get him.
Felix is running over to Anker.
Okay. Jump out from behind the rock. Ah! Ready to shoot. Okay.
Bronson and Felix reach Anker around the same time. If one of you guys wanted to make the first aid.
I got
someone
52.
with higher. Yeah, you should do it.
That is. I mean, it's -5, so I don't know what the hard thing is. I'm just gonna say it's probably normal though.
Yeah, okay, so you manage to, like, quickly wrap up the wound and stop the bleeding and keep him calm and away from bleeding out. Anker, you get you get 1 hit point back, and you're not, like, bleeding out on the ground currently. You're just, oh, you are in unbelievable pain. You're pretty sure you probably, there's a not insignificant chance.
Before.
There's a not insignificant chance something got perforated by that.
You're gonna be okay, Anker.
I've been in this position before.
You're probably. Don't worry, bud. You're gonna keep getting in this position.
Don't say that.
I'm sorry.
I go to stabilize the crazy man.
Go for it. Roll first aid.
Okay.
Make sure to, get his gun away.
Yeah, I grab his gun, of course.
Yeah,
keep it
okay.
out. We kept the fucking rifle ammo from the box, right?
Sure.
Oh, of course.
Hell yeah.
Auger pockets all ammunition.
All he
He's a fucking
sees.
pack rat.
Hard.
He is stable, badly wounded. You can see he's also kind of emaciated, and there's sort of like a pallor to his skin. He looks really sick already. And the gun that you retrieve from him is a carbine 6.5mm Mannlicher. I don't know if that's how you say that. M1893.
Okay, how much damage does it do?
It does 2d6 plus 2.
Not bad.
2d6 plus 2.
Are you like searching him as well?
Sure. What's the
Okay.
range on this thing?
The range, the functional range is 80 yards, but you can fire beyond that with penalties, which is mostly what he was doing.
And then just has 1 attack, I suppose.
It has a tendency to jam, so sometimes you can only fire it once every 2 rounds, which was happening to him towards the beginning. Anyways, are you searching him, or?
Yes.
Okay, so he has 3 more 5-round clips.
Okay, alright.
He has a heavy-bladed hunting knife. He has a box of matches, a few rupees, and a key.
I take the matches, the rupees, the hunting knife, the key. I take everything.
The key has a little bit of, like, Italian writing on it. You imagine it's probably for something back in Italy.
Cool. I'll keep this.
Mystery box, mystery box, mystery box.
Mystery
What's
box, mystery
in the
box.
Oh my god, it's a
It could
fucking
even
mercy
be another
skin.
mystery box.
Loot crate.
It's a mercy skin. I'm
The
not
monks-
mercy.
The Nepalese man who got shot is still lying back a couple hundred yards back.
Someone go help him.
He's still fine. I stabilized him, but I'll bring him along over
Wake
here.
him up.
Let me bring him over here.
He wakes up slowly as he's being helped along.
Yeah.
He's just pushing off of you and trying to stagger up towards the monastery.
I tell someone to go up with him. I gotta watch a fucking crazy guy.
I watched the crazy guy.
Make sure the crazy guy
I
doesn't
got
alert the
a
cultist.
dagger up there with him.
Okay. So we got Bill and Bronson watching the crazy guy?
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Alright, everybody else want to go in the monastery?
I'm gonna go reload while I'm doing that.
Yeah.
What's Bronson's rifle skill?
43.
Would you like it?
Oh boy. Wait, can I even carry it, or is it too much?
it's gonna be a risk. You might want to leave it.
Okay, yeah, let's
Yeah.
just leave it.
What are the chances we'll get into another one?
So, you enter the monastery through the door that Carlo stepped out of, into a rough-hewn cave, very dark with steps leading up. Stone steps slowly lead up to another unlit cave, and then into a larger assembly hall. The hall has 3 small windows, each letting in just a glimmer of the fading evening light. At one end of the room is an elaborate wooden altar bearing frescoes of 5 Buddhas, the same ones from that temple in the last temple you visited. The last one, still that cloaked, shrouded figure in yellow and white. Above the altar are racks with statues, books, and copied manuscripts. In the center of the room is a pallet, several blankets, a small barrel of water, some cooked rice, nuts, honeycomb, and hard bread. There is also a powerful, grim smell emanating from a nearby chamber. The guide is going to walk in there. You guys following?
Everyone or just...
I was talking to the people who went into the monastery.
Yeah, are they? Fellas?
Come on.
Cat?
Good job.
Are you...
Inside that room, there are 5 bodies, laid out neatly shoulder to shoulder. 4 adults and a child, all dressed in monks' robes. They are in advanced decomposition. It's hard to tell how they died, given how decayed they've become.
Oh god, are the monks dead?
The guide just sort of falls to his knees at their side and just sits there, his head bowed.
Pigeon religion.
And the sun sets outside. That guy doesn't move from that spot.
Is he dead too?
He's not dead, he's just not moving. There are a few other scattered rooms within the complex, but they seem to be disused or unimportant. Are you guys gonna bring Carlo inside, or are you just gonna stay on the mountainside?
We're just gonna stay on the mountainside with him for now.
Okay.
Try and bring him to and ask a few questions.
Because night is falling and it's freezing out there, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Also, he kind of got hit, so
Yeah. I don't think he's coming back from where he's at.
I suppose so.
Because we don't know what's in there. If there are more people inside, he can alert them.
Still, we should probably bring him in, though.
Okay, fine.
I mean, you guys have seen the whole complex, essentially. You don't see anybody else there except for the dead bodies.
I mean, who wants to be outside in the cold and night?
Alright, fine, we'll bring him in. If he's cold, we're cold.
That's right.
So you're bringing him in, or...?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So you drag him inside.
Where he starts screaming bloody murder.
A little ways into the night, maybe about an hour or so after sunset, he starts to come to. Have you restrained him in any way?
Yeah.
How
With what?
did we...
You could use some of the climbing
Rope
gear.
from climbing
some of the rope.
supplies.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
would suggest. Okay.
Yeah,
So his
we
hands
can
are
do
at least
that.
bound. And he looks around, like sort of like winces at the bullet wound that sort of passed through his passed through part of his upper body. Badly hurt.
I'll be fine.
Not as badly hurt as Anker. Looks like he could actually take a bit more beating. He's actually a pretty big guy. He just just looks around at you. Fuoco.
Bitch.
I pull out my English or Italian to English dictionary.
Put that away.
Oh, okay, thank God.
Oh, whew. So, bud, what's going on with you, huh?
What's going on, big guy?
I stop anybody from come up the mountain. I stop. I shoot. I kill. I stop. Nothing come up this way. Nothing
Why is
live.
that?
I'm sorry.
Only death waits up here. I lack the courage. I lack the courage. I run back. I flee, I run, I kill. He's afraid. I kill again. I stop.
Oh, okay. Where's the rest of the boys?
Anzalone, I don't know. Quarry, I don't know. Del Negro. He's not coming back.
He's not coming back?
No. I smash and I smash. No come back.
I get you.
Well, we'll go solve your quarry problem.
I was scared. Quarry, Anzalone, they had the heart for it. I could not handle it. It got in my head. It's in my head. I killed Del Negro. He wanted to leave. I had to kill him or he would tell. I had to stop so nobody come up. Only death.
Mm-hmm.
I could not help, but maybe I could protect, or maybe I could just stop the sound in my head, the beat, boom, 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 in my head.
Jesus.
The acolyte, his quarry is the acolyte. Seeker of a truth.
How much farther are they up? Do you know?
Up where the mountainside turn orange. In the caves. Up in the mountains. Deeper, higher. Cold. Mountain climb. High. Far. 2 days more. Maybe 3. Maybe 1. Maybe none. Maybe 10. I don't remember.
Well, don't you worry, bud. We're gonna go stop that cult ritual, stop that historian and all that.
No.
He wants to protect it.
No, don't worry, buddy.
He's trying to break out of the binds.
I pull out my gun and shoot him.
Don't worry.
Okay. Roll. You're point blank, so roll with a bonus die.
Okay. Bronson, you fucked up.
What do you mean I fucked up?
Well, look what I'm having to do. It's like having to put down the family dog.
You're not saying this. You're shooting.
Bronson, you fucked
Yeah,
up.
just
You
shoot
should
him.
pull out his gun. Yeah.
He's gonna break out and fucking strangle you, and I don't want to have to pick that up.
He's a big guy.
Just hit the guy in the head or something.
He said he was
Felix-
shooting, so roll.
You...
Felix is very upset that he can't smoke at this high of an altitude.
Yeah, it'd be a bad move.
Hard.
Hard?
Hard.
Roll damage. He might live.
Really?
Yeah,
Kill him.
kind of depends.
I want to
like
see some
the-
death.
Why you gotta kill him, though?
12?
Yeah.
Never fucking mind.
Oh my god.
How the fuck did you get? What'd you roll?
I got a 10 and then plus 2.
He had 5 health left, but like, holy shit. So
He
you,
had 15 health.
yeah, he was a big guy.
What a big motherfucker.
Like I said, he was a huge son of a bitch. You just pull out the gun as he struggles, and you can see he's huge. The bindings are starting to strain, and you just pull out the gun, and head just empties out the back, and he slumps.
What is up with everyone getting all crazy over this? Come on.
You hear it echoing down the mountainside, just the.
Oh, they really like this cult stuff, huh?
Do-do-do-do-do.
Yes.
He doesn't say anything to Bronson, he just shakes his head.
What else? Okay, what else are you gonna ask him?
Alright, help me move the body outside.
That's what I thought. All right.
Do you know how many times we've done this?
Just
Do you know how many Italian men whose heads we've emptied?
Too many.
it's
Well,
our
not
favorite
enough.
pastime, all right?
Statistically, at least 600.
Good men
Men and
running this world.
At least some of them were probably evil.
Yeah.
They were at the very least rich.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And if there's one thing we, the fucking, oh god, it was a socialist uprising by the fucking the ghouls. They were eating the rich.
Oh god.
It was all true.
Oh
the
no.
communists fucking love us.
Propaganda was true.
What have we done?
I mean, yeah, we single-handedly brought down the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah, more or less.
Forget about it.
Oh man.
Well, Europe is only lucky we've never been to Spain.
Ugh. Ugh. You gotta leave it. You're doing so much damage.
What time does the Civil War start for them?
It already has, I think.
Oh, damn, we were too late.
This is
We can still blow them up. Don't get down.
36, July
1936, not yet.
Oh, not yet.
We
I was
got
gonna
time.
say, we can make Goya's paintings look like landscapes.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh yikes. So unless you guys want to head out into the dark of night, you're probably gonna have to sleep in this house of death.
All right, sounds comfortable actually.
Do they have pillows?
They don't.
We got the
But
bodies.
it is protected from the wind and the cold.
I mean, their stomachs.
I mean, we're on a mountain. We can just go throw this guy out off the cliff.
Yeah, I think that's what William said he was doing, actually.
Yeah, I was.
Just
know,
rolling him
yeah.
down the side.
Yeah, and he's gonna make a big snowball.
There's actually not a ton of snow.
I was gonna say you could post him up somewhere really high and pose him. Use him as a marker like they do
He's
on
already
Everest.
rolling. There he goes.
Wait, what do you mean use him as a marker? I thought you were making
Oh.
like a crucifixion joke.
People on Mount Everest use the corpses of other climbers as way markers.
Yeah.
Because they
Oh.
can't actually take them off the cliff because that's too much weight to carry.
Oh.
It's good stuff.
Hmm.
You guys go to sleep,
comfortably.
knowing that you're so very close to your destination. You've already found one of the Pilgrimage of Grace and learned that another one is dead. Anzalone and Quarry are ahead, but Carlo Schiapone and the black shirt Del Negro are dead.
Wonder sad he didn't get to kill Del Negro himself.
Unfortunately, he seems to have gotten wise to the susness of this plan. And it's like, hey, are there monsters in these caves?
It's fine.
And then they said, oh, uh-oh. I was like, we're leaving now! January 17th. You know the direction you need to go, generally, based on what it said in Chipone's diary. That monk, the Nepalese man who came up here with you, he's not in the building when you guys wake up.
Yeah.
The bodies are still here. Can't really carry those back down.
Understandable.
There is no more path, however. It's just rough-hewn wilderness. So, it's as difficult as the previous days. Clambering up these steep slopes, the world is a monochrome of black, gray, and white. I need climb rolls.
Hell yeah.
I'm good at that. I'm not,
With a
but-
bonus if you have gear.
Yeah, but my climb is 5 actually because of the sickness.
Holy shit, I succeeded.
I succeeded. Wait, no.
I can't succeed on this. With a bonus.
I did not succeed.
Okay, I rolled a 28. The bonus I got it to 8, but my climb is 5 because of the altitude sickness.
Wow.
So, you make slow progress. Some of your friends are having a lot tougher time making your way up. It's not, you know, you're not slipping to death until you are.
Someone help!
Who failed?
Me!
Felix. I failed, actually.
All three of you? Oh boy, this will be a treat.
Oh, yes, brother.
Slip to death while you eat.
Hey, I didn't push.
So, as you guys are climbing up, you guys have a tougher time and progress is slowed, but all three of you at certain points of the day lose your footing slightly while climbing up these sort of steep ridges. I need either a strength or a dex roll from each of you, whichever you want.
Oh boy.
I roll. I succeeded.
Okay.
I extreme.
Okay.
Look at this dude.
Look at that though.
I failed.
Okay.
Oh boy, oh fuck.
So both Bronson and Maestro manage to right themselves, dig in their heels, grab on, and regain their footing. Felix, the ground just sort of gives under his feet, and he starts to tumble backwards down the steep slope. I need a luck roll.
Uh-oh.
No. Oh, fuck.
You fall down around a good 50-60 yards. No, sorry, 50-60 feet. 50-60 yards would be so far. 50-60 feet. And you take 3 points of damage. Just... I need you to make another luck roll.
Oh, Jesus.
Help!
We're gonna help our boy.
No.
Oh my god.
Help?
Oh.
He keeps falling.
You roll down even further and skid to a stop. And you landed hard. You have a pretty badly sprained knee right now. And it's going to be very difficult for you to carry much more gear. If you want to keep pace with your friends, you're gonna have to dump a bunch of shit, probably.
I'm gonna keep the cold gear, the climbing gear, and I guess the rifle. The rifle's more useful than a shotgun in the cold.
Okay.
And fuck. Wait, which one is it? Of course the rats and flashlight.
Okay. So you have to dump a bunch of gear, but you manage to slowly make your way back up to your friends. They help you back up. You're walking with a pretty severe limp, and it hurts, but you're managing to make it.
I think I'm gonna need a doctor after this.
I will need a doctor after this.
Yeah. You cross over a steep-sided valley, bone dry, climbing steeply to the east. The wind is ferocious, hurtling against you, and the gusts are... The footing, at least at this spot, is relatively sure, but the gusts of wind occasionally blow you backwards a couple dozen feet, or blow you forwards a couple dozen feet. It's wildly whipping around in different directions. The next 4 or 5 hours of daylight are spent climbing this valley, traveling east away from the river and further into the mountains, and the walking is getting harder and harder in the thin air. It's hard to hear each other over the howling wind. You basically have to press your lips to somebody's ear to be heard. And as it gets dark, you look around at the area around you and realize you're gonna have to camp out in the open. There's nothing to be found in terms of shelter.
Fantastic.
So this could get dicey.
Could get fun.
Funny dicey.
You've still got the cold weather gear, which is good. What you don't have is the tents. So, because you guys are exposed, I need con rolls from everybody. I need Ankur to make his con roll with a penalty die because he's badly injured.
Oh,
Wow.
don't do this to me.
Sorry.
I failed.
Oh,
I got another. What's that?
oh,
Hard.
Nick, no, don't do this to me. I rolled a 92 and a 2.
Oh, I'm very sorry.
Oh, damn, that's so
Oh
sad.
boy.
I fucky wackied.
Huh?
Not good, brothers, not good.
Oh man, everybody's failing.
The cold.
Give it to me straight, Doc.
Who failed?
The maestro.
Everyone, I think.
I got a hard.
Except for this boy over here.
I got a 22.
Joseph. 2. Joseph's killing it out
fuck you.
here.
Felt like an ox.
Fuck you,
Joseph's
that was my
fucking
2.
killing it.
That was my 2. Fuck you.
Felix, what'd you get?
Success.
Okay, so you managed to weather against the cold. You guys are sort of like huddling up against each other basically as the wind just the entire night. Frigid, biting cold. If you guys weren't in cold weather gear, you would probably be killed, like, or at least be pushed to the brink, like what happened to Dick. However, at the moment, you are suffering from... Those of you who failed are suffering from exposure. Your body temperature's dipping below normal, shivering, a little bit of loss of balance and confusion. -5 to all skills, and -8 to strength and dex.
Alright, we're getting somewhere. My climb is officially 0.
The maestro is having an insanely hard time. He is both suffering from exposure and advanced altitude sickness.
My face is
I
like
hope
a.
we have time to recover before the big final confrontation.
My face is a death mask. A very beautiful, frostbitten death mask.
You'll be in work hard.
What? How many days of nights of sleep have we had since the train incident? Because I haven't been tracking my hit point recovery.
Oh, it's been like over 2 weeks. This is like the 16th day.
I'm back to max, which is 8.
You feel good?
I feel great. I'm just wonderful.
By the way,
I
you ate the last of your food last night.
Bronson ate the last of his food.
All of you.
Oh shit! No more nuts.
That was it.
no
Beer nuts.
mixed
Those
or
were our
otherwise.
last beer nuts.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Don't talk about beer nuts. Those are made in the town I used to live in.
I know, you have to drive by it every time you come out of Decatur.
I hate it.
SpongeBob, me beer nuts.
So,
SpongeBob, me beer nuts.
as you guys set out again, beaten, many of you ill and freezing, without food, having to leave so much behind, several of you injured, Anker still clutching his side, Felix limping, beaten down on this brutal journey through Nepal to the destination of Drakmar, reduced to your lowest selves. You start to have waking visions as you make your way through these terrifying landscapes. The sort of landscape that makes it seem like you might be the only people on Earth. There is no mark of man here, although you can see for many, many miles from atop these ridges. Frost on the rocks, ice in the crevasses, the valley deepening, its steep sides rising up hundreds and hundreds of feet. Monotonous hours staggering forward in the shriek of the wind, snow stinging your faces. Through the wind that picks up, the snow that whirls past, you swear you keep seeing that figure, that robed figure, white and gold, walking alongside you. You keep smelling, carried on the wind, that sweet, pungent smell of rotting fruit. You keep looking at your friends, and you see them looking at you and smiling and laughing, and you blink and they're just trudging forward on. Sometimes you think you look down behind you and you see at the ridge, you see a glittering dark lake, and at the edge, Carcosa. And you look again and it's just frozen ice and bulbous rock formations. It's starting to become harder and harder to discern reality from unreality, dreams from the waking world, and those messages that you heard in your dreams before, those messages that you got, echo again in your heads again and again during the day, the whispered voice bleeding in as though it's part of the wind. Also give me another con roll for altitude sickness.
From all of us?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Oh, success.
It's a hard again.
That's a failure.
How many times can he get it before he just croaks?
Extreme.
Oh.
Well, we'll find out, I suppose.
Hey, we will.
Please don't die.
No, I don't want to die.
Especially if they're fucking cold. You're supposed to die in a cool way, not like this.
What was everybody's rolls?
Fail.
Hard. hard.
Extreme.
Joseph passes again, actually. He still just got mild.
Fine.
Felix?
Wait, what are we rolling?
It's another altitude sickness.
Oh, no, I failed.
Okay, so you've got mild sickness now, so -5 to skills and -8 to strength and dex.
Okay.
The maestro, who has been getting sicker and sicker and sicker as this goes on, his skin is sallow, his eyes are sunken in, there's frost collecting on his face, and you can see there's a bit of hair probably growing in at this point. I don't think you guys are getting regular shaves.
Yeah.
Just sort of frost caught in the stubble. He stops and collapses a couple of times while walking, hoarse breathing. You're finding it incredibly difficult to catch your breath. You're still able to progress, but you're needing assistance, and you're finding it really, really hard to walk. You don't take any further penalties to your skills, but this will probably have an effect if you try to do anything even mildly exertive.
Understood.
You're basically like late stage emphysema breathing right now.
I'm not looking too hot. Well, I'm still looking hot, but here's my here's my character sheet at the moment.
Oh man.
Oh my god! At least you can, dress up. We can disguise you. We can at Bernie's.
Oh yeah.
I like the zeros. It's good.
Still really good at disguise and fast talk though.
Yeah, I made that joke.
And then, at about midday, you see something.
Something good.
It's an effect that dwarfs anything that you've seen thus far. Up ahead, as you emerge through this low valley that you've been traveling through for an hour or so, you see the entire north side of the valley has been colored. This dull, baked orange color stretches right to the cliff tops, maybe 200 feet, and must run for about half a mile. Piercing this cliff are scores of cave openings, and spread across the valley floor underneath are the ruins of rock piles that have just been scattered across with the same ochre color. This is Drakmar.
Oh my god.
I want a listen roll from everybody.
That's good to meet Chief.
My ears are frozen shut.
Big
Yeah,
fail.
I can't
98.
hear.
Anybody succeed?
Oh wait, fuck. Yeah, let me listen.
Hey,
Felix?
Listen.
I got a hard.
Okay. I'll roll for
Joseph shit.
Joseph. Here's it. Felix,
King.
What are we rolling?
listen.
Listen.
I succeeded.
Okay.
Shut up, Jeremy.
Alright.
It's interesting. I'm supposed to tell you this secretly, apparently, so I'm gonna do that.
Interesting. I would have loved if everyone failed and then only Joseph got it.
Yeah, right?
Nick has the greatest effort to count the minutes.
And as you guys stand here at the precipice of Drakmar, on the threshold of the end of your grueling journey, barely holding it together, but still with enough strength to at least see this to its conclusion, we're gonna end the session.
Why do you do this every week? Little bastard.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Call of Cthulhu.
You have try her going on a poo-poo break?
Are you
Why are you like
eating
this?
pills or something? Is it
Next time we'll see what happens. It might be the last. It might be the last session, or there might be one after that, depending on what happens.
Damn, I didn't think we were that. Ooh.
Oh, you guys are right up at it. This is the home stretch, son.
The big thing's gonna happen now.
The biggest thing.
And
I'm
all right, that's the end of the session. Goodbye.
Bye.